Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. Can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Listen online, the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Past shows are available on iTunes. Search under BMMS. Listen with your cell phone. Get the iHeartRadio app. Available from the App Store of your cell phone provider. More on that at iHeartRadio.com. And we're on Facebook. Facebook.com/BMMS69. That's where you can hang out with us each and every day. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning.
We got tickets to see Vince Neil, who's going to be at the Hard Rock in January. HardRockCasinoTulsa.com to get your tickets. We'll see what Lindsay wants to talk about. We got our top 5 songs today. Fun one, top 5 songs from bands who only put out one album. From listener, one album wonder. We'll get to that at 9 o'clock. We'll play those 5 songs and then ones that you think should have been on the list. Again, that's at 9 o'clock. You might remember a story a while back of a couple who got married on, they were like at a resort, and then on the way back to somewhere in the golf cart, they got hit by a drunk driver and the bride got killed.
Yeah.
On their wedding night, right?
That sucks.
Horrific story, right? And as happens when you're married and you die, your husband, in this case, partner, gets the inheritance.
Right.
Well, in that story I just referenced, the mom ain't having it. So imagine you go through this horrific event. You're married hours. Hours. And you, as the husband, get put in charge of the estate. And the mom goes, oh, no, contraire, mon frère. And tries to take the inheritance or estate away from you, the husband.
Nope.
Now, so they're only hours married.
Yeah. How long? It doesn't say how long they were together, though, does it? Were they together like 4 or 5 years and, just got married?
I don't remember how long they were together.
Even if it was still like a year, they were together for a year and then got married. I don't think Mama has a dog in the fight.
She says that her daughter would have wanted her to have some of the inheritance.
Nope.
Some, maybe, yeah. All of it? Probably not. Unless she wasn't married. And then it's like, okay, well, it's got to go somewhere.
She's calling the marriage a potential fraud.
Oh, God.
Wow.
That the marriage to her daughter could be invalid.
The fun thing about funerals and the inheritance that comes with quote unquote insurance money. Well, let's just start with funerals in general. Funerals they make people crazy. They make people crazy, whether it's, the money that from the insurance company that's supposed to be coming around, or it's, the giant wooden spoon that was hanging on the wall. You know what I mean? Oh, I got to have that. She would have wanted me to have it. People think that they're entitled to it. And it's like, no, you're not.
I mean, entitlement's a funny thing. It's a 50-50
right.
thing. He also thinks he's entitled, which I'm sure a lot of people feel like he is. The mom is saying that the daughter would have wanted them to do everything together, given they were the 2 most important people in her life. I'm sure in the tragedy following her death, her shocking death, murder, might some say, they embraced and were like, we're going to get through this together. She had a life insurance policy.
Well, wait a minute.
The mom says, I never wanted to challenge the validity of the marriage. I never wanted to dishonor my daughter. But I feel like, I'm just going to say the husband so we don't have to try and remember his name. But I feel like the husband is dishonoring my daughter and going against her wishes.
God.
She said the son-in-law she previously gushed over as the loving male version of her daughter. The idea that you lose somebody and you think everything's so good and how quickly it can go so not.
Yeah. And it's usually over money.
Yeah.
Money drives people nuts.
Yes,
Not
it
just
does.
funeral, man, but just money in general. We get it from, death like this. Income tax time is another one. When you've got a couple that's separated, right? And you got that old child income tax credit or whatever. And it's my year. No, it's my year. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody gets so effing greedy when there's, let's just say, over $1,000 on the line.
Mhm.
It drives me absolutely batty. I'm like, come on. Get it together, people.
I mean, I can only go off my situation that I went through with my grandma.
Mhm.
And I got, after she passed, my aunts wanted to take me out saying it was my grandmother's wishes.
Right.
And I could have fought it.
Yeah.
But why?
Mhm.
I don't need that money
Mhm.
to equate to love.
Right.
Right.
But that's the fun thing. Like, you are like that, and that's respectable, right? But not everybody's like that. When it comes to, and I'm sticking with over $1,000 limit, people are like, holy crap, that's a lot of money, and it's mine. I want it. I need it. Give it to me now. Instead of people like you, they're like, okay.
I don't know. It wasn't like life-changing. Maybe if it was life-changing money,
Mhm.
right, then maybe I could see getting in it.
Right. When my dad died, he had this new girlfriend, and they were only together for a year, something to that effect, right? But of course, when my mom died, my dad was like, hey, when I go, I'm putting everything in your name. I want you to take care of it. And I was just like, yeah, sure. So I did when he passed away. And little did I know that he had switched beneficiaries from me to his new girlfriend. And she got all the insurance money and stuck me with the bill, having to pay for the entire funeral, whatever. That's $9,000 out of my pocket. I'd have simply told her, you can have all the rest of it. I don't give two S's. Just help, or at least pay. Take that big chunk of change that you got there and pay for this funeral, so I'm not stuck with the bill that took me 3 years to pay off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, nay. That is all my money, and you did not let me have any part or say in the funeral, so you get nothing. Well, ma'am, that's why you're a see you next Tuesday in my book.
Do you know for certainty there was, I know he told you, but was there any evidence after he passed that there was?
That there was what? Insurance money involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. His insurance company told me the check's already been sent out.
Ooh.
Well, who's it been sent out to? We can't give you that information. You mother lovers. Not the insurance company.
Yeah.
But the other pseudo family.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on. If you want to be a greedy bitch, have at it. But have some common sympathy for the other person that's, stuck with the bill. Don't be a bitch about it. And just to stick it to the man, just to stick it to you because I wouldn't let you have any say. Bet you were together for maybe a year, 2 at the most.
Right.
I've known this cat for the past 30-something years of my life. And he asked me to do him a simple favor, and I was just doing what the man asked.
Right.
Anyway.
Do you feel, use that story in, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Use your situation to the story we're reading, where the mother thinks she's entitled to it.
Absolutely.
She was together for X number of years, is where that triggered that.
Absolutely. I love that. But here, if he was married, if they had gotten married, okay, all right, fine. That's totally makes sense. Y'all got married. You're legally bound together, by the states. There's nothing I could do about it.
Would you have let her plan and do the whole funeral?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they got married. They made it legally binding. But instead, you're just a girlfriend. You're just another bitch in the book.
So the act of marriage for you is the threshold.
Absolutely.
What if they're one of those people that, and we're just hypothetical.
Absolutely.
One of those people who we were married, but we weren't.
No, we're common law because we've been together for X amount of years.
I mean, while getting married, we've been together.
Yeah, no, not so much the case. Maybe if it was more than, 2 years, because I'm not exactly 100%. I know it was at least a year. So it was at least between 1 and 2. So if they were together for 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even. All right, cool.
Did you ever ask her for the money?
Yeah, several times, even years afterwards.
Was she like, new phone, who dis? So did you get a response from her at all?
No. I had to have my little brother go around because she wouldn't respond to me, right? So my little brother, or his ex at the time, whatever, his old lady at the time, hey, would you circumvent all this for me? Because I ain't getting nowhere. And nothing but just goddamn attitude. All right. You know what? There's a special spot for you. I'm taking care of business. I know it's going to be taken care of. It's all good. I ain't worried about it because all that stuff comes around. It all come back around. Whether you believe in karma or not, I do. I do. So all that will come around.
In this story that we're talking about of the family where the bride was killed the night of their marriage by a drunk driver, they were in a golf cart, got rear-ended by a drunk driver. Apparently the husband offered half the money, according to his attorney.
Well, that's nice of him. He didn't have to.
She said
do
no.
that. Really?
She wants it all.
So wouldn't there have been a designated beneficiary?
That doesn't mean nothing.
What do you mean?
That's just a name on a paper.
Right.
I can gladly take you to court over it.
Huh.
Gimpy could have gladly taken his dad's girlfriend to court.
Yeah, but
because he's got,
Right.
He told me. That's the problem with the trust and the difference between a trust and a will, right? A will can be fought.
Yeah.
Right.
A trust is done.
But I mean, if it's an insurance.
And even then it can be fought.
Like, because when you fill out your insurance paperwork, you write that when you fill out your insurance paperwork.
Right.
I'm not talking about your will or whatever.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. That's just who they're writing the check. You're telling the insurance company who to write the check to. So are you taking the stance of whatever's written in the insurance beneficiary space is it?
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Then Gimpy's dad's girlfriend gets the money.
Right.
Full stop.
Right.
Regardless of what he was told. But that's the problem, right? Is like some people are really bad at paperwork.
Yeah.
I thought when my ex-wife died, I was like, I hope I don't get any money. I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get any. I hope I don't.
Right. Because you don't know if she changed paperwork or
I don't know if she did. And I had already decided if I did, I was not even going to cash the check. I was going to sign it over. I didn't even want it going through my tax records.
Really?
I'd sign it over to her dad or whoever he told. I didn't want none of that.
Let that be somebody else's problem.
Absolutely. One, I don't deserve it.
Right.
I just don't deserve it. We had the difference between the story of Gimpy or this is we had been removed for a while.
Right.
But if it's written on the paper, that doesn't, from the insurance company, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Right? Because we had my family, we had a legal document. And still, there was like, we want to fight this. Okay. Sure. Go ahead. But in the state of mourning, which I can't imagine what the mom's mourning, right? The loss of her daughter on such a night that was supposed to be so glorious.
Absolutely.
The bride thought that was not the type of rear ending that was going to happen.
Right.
Standing up at the pearly gates. Well, that's not exactly how I planned this to go.
Right. The husband, how detrimental and now continuously digging at the scab over and over. Over money. And I don't know how much it is. I don't know how much she had. They're not telling us that.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, it'd have to be life-changing would have to be a couple hundred, like $200,000 or more.
Yeah.
Right. But that's arbitrary, life
For
changing.
sure.
Yeah, it could be $15,000 and people would.
15,000 is not life-changing.
No,
just the taxes and annoyance alone with it.
Yeah, maybe not to you, but to some people. If I had $15,000 swing my way, I'd be like, hell yeah, that's life-changing. May not be life-changing in the thought of, I'm buying a new house with this bitch, but it's clearing up a lot of stuff.
Sure. Life-changing, I think, is the subjective part here.
Okay.
Right? To me, life-changing is buying a house.
Right.
Removing dramatic concern.
Absolutely.
Bills that are hanging over you, yes, it would take care of those. You're totally right on that. But to me, life-changing is altering the course of your life forever.
Right.
not alleviating a pressure point. So I think life changing would be the definition change. But you're right. It's totally subjective.
Money making people go crazy since the beginning.
Yeah. Puff Daddy, man.
Yeah.
All right. More money, more problems.
More money, more problems. Hit a bitch. Rape her, drug her. Isn't that a song?
Something to that effect.
Something like that.
Yeah, I believe that's exact lyrics, verbatim.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. We got tickets to see Vince Neil. That's a topical joke, Lindsay, because she got people say, okay. Vince Neil tickets. We're going to give those away coming up at 7:30. He's going to be in town on January 12th. We're going to see what Lindsay wants to talk about. And we got our top 5 songs.
Let's rock. More of the Big Mad Morning Show is now.
Opening the cabinet.
Yeah, you
to
don't
look
do
through the
that.
medicine cabinet. You feel like you give the vibe that you do that.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, it's not an insult. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it gives a vibe.
Why? What gives
Because you're
you that
nosy.
vibe?
You're very nosy.
What makes me nosy?
Well, you'll walk into a room when a conversation's happening going, wait, what are we talking about?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You love knowing other people's gossip?
Yeah. I'll watch those gossip shows.
No, I'm talking
they're
like
there
personal
for.
gossip. I'm not talking about TV shows.
Yeah. If we're here, I don't want to miss out on anything for sure.
Yeah, that's nosy.
Yeah.
Bringing an uninvited +1.
Yeah. Because now you're forcing the other people to like entertain somebody they don't know. It just makes
Right.
everything.
Or don't
Yeah.
like.
Exactly. And it's not your place to be inviting somebody else over.
Feeding their dog.
Huh? Oh, like table scraps or something?
I think that's what they mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't imagine you'd be like, where's your chow chow so I can put it in the
Mhm.
bowl? Yeah. Some people do that. Some people think that because they feed their dogs table scraps or popcorn or whatever,
Yeah.
that they can do that with your dog.
That's good that your dog's stomach is adapted to that. But now you're going to make your friend's dog crap all over their house because it's not used to that.
Showing up empty-handed.
I don't think that's that bad. I mean, do I have to bring potato salad every time I come over?
No?
Exactly.
No, I always take something.
Yeah. I always take a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Always, always.
All right. I usually got my medicine on me, so that just works out perfectly.
Yeah, but that's not extra, right? Like you said, it's like offering him a cigarette.
Right. I don't have to share with you, though. That's the thing. I don't have to.
Yes, but you're not going out of your way is the point, right?
Listen, I'm the guy that goes to Walmart and gets the cookies for the potluck that we're having here at work, okay? Do you expect more from me?
Yeah, I think if you go to someone's house and they're making, like, let's just say dinner still,
Mhm.
you got to take something.
Yeah.
I did. I brought
Even
my
a
appetite.
dessert or wine, whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
It's just manners, Gimpy, right?
Right. Yeah, sure.
No?
Listen, y'all invited me over. Okay, cool. I'll come over and have dinner. That's all right. Doesn't mean I have to bring a bottle of wine or a 6-pack or a bottle of anything for that fact. That's that. Unless you say so. Hey, BYOB, bring a bottle, bring a side item. We'll get the main course. That happens to me a lot. We got the main courses. Come on over for barbecue, whatever. Bring a side item. All right, cool. Tater salad it is.
I've never gone to someone's house
Mhm.
and like looked around and said to myself, that's so dirty here.
Oh.
Ugh,
Wow.
what do they have lives? Right? I don't go, their sheets, they didn't even make their bed. I don't do all that
Oh, I bet you
Really
have.
down my
No.
nose at you.
because life happens.
Mhm. Depends on the level of the filth, right? If you walk into somebody's house,
If you're
and
a
it looks like
hoarder?
hoarders, yeah, exactly.
I ain't going to your house. I already
Yeah.
know you're a hoarder.
But this is the first time you didn't realize that they were disgusting people or hoarders until you walk into their house,
oh,
right?
no. You
get
can read a
totally
hoarder a
thrown
mile
off guard.
away. No, you can read a hoarder a mile away.
Hoarder.
Yeah, you can read a hoarder a mile away.
You just tell by the way they dress, their lack of showering.
Or by their vehicle.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, right? I think absolutely.
Mhm. But you still don't say anything. You just kind of watch where you sit down, maybe scooch the newspapers or whatever,
Yeah.
paper plates with leftover pizza rolls on them and hang out for a little bit. And I got to go. I got it.
If I'm going to
Kids.
judge, I'm judging, like, I'm going to judge the food.
Mm.
So I'm not going to judge, like, hey, your bed wasn't made.
Mhm.
No.
I'm going to judge, oh my God, you served Brussels sprouts or whatever that is.
Right.
I'm not going to get all like, ugh, You didn't clean for my arrival.
Right. 'Cause you're right. Life happens,
Life
especially
happens.
if you've got small children.
Oh, and you're having a dinner party.
Right. You can expect toys to be all over the place. Now, there's a difference between, a little clutter, kids don't know how to pick up their toys, and your house looks like Ross, dressed for less. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I would think if you're hosting a dinner party, you would want to clean up.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
But that's not necessarily true, especially if you're like, hey, come over tonight, we're having pizza.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza feels like there's no cleaning happening.
Yeah, it's okay to have your laundry still piled up on the back of the couch from like 4 days.
No.
You should at least pick it up and throw it on your bed.
Yeah.
Right? Give me a place to sit.
Right. Just move the panties over. It'll be fine.
It's always like, I've gone and I stopped getting in the car with this person when I went to get in their car and they're like, hold on. And they had to like unload a bunch of stuff from the seat and the floorboard into the back seat so I could sit down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you invited me to get in your car.
You should have had that fixed up beforehand.
Or
Right.
just don't invite me into your car.
I'm with you.
Right? If you don't have a place for me to sit, what are you doing inviting me over?
I just like the company.
I'm not a charity. Yeah. So that would be, I'm judging food. What do you judge? What's your judge when you go to someone's house? If it's like
Cleanliness.
cleanliness.
Mhm.
Probably. Yeah. Especially if you're having a dinner party.
Yeah, I might do that too.
Uh-huh.
Gimpy?
Definitely cleanliness. And it doesn't have to be sparkling like you walk in and everything's ting, 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 No. But if you're inviting people over, dinner party, or just to hang out and have a smoke sesh, you might want to just kind of pick up the bulk of
Smoke
things
sesh.
first.
You're so
right?
bougie. Like,
Yeah.
right.
You're going over get high and you're like, man, the house was so dirty.
Yeah.
So dirty.
Well, yeah, if you gotta, you can't put your soda down or your water down on the table because it's littered with empty cans. then
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
talking about, man.
Yeah.
Go get a damn trash bag,
But if-
clear off the tables, and it'll be fine.
yes.
I'm not saying you have to run the vacuum.
Right.
All right. Just don't make people come in and be like, oh God. Oh. God. And furthermore, Susan, if it smells a little bit, just spray something. Just spray something in the air. You don't want to walk into somebody's house and get hit with a brick wall of stank. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to be careful too. Don't go crazy, right? If you're unloading half a can of Lysol,
Right. You're
Oh,
obviously
gross.
Covering up a
something up.
smell.
Yeah.
right?
Which will reveal itself in a
In
little
due
bit.
time.
Yes.
It's not permanent.
It smells like wildflowers and ass
Yeah. Is it Febreze?
hmm
and mold.
Febreze is literally advertised to cover up stink,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
which means you have a problem if there's stink in the
Yeah.
house. What about a toilet bowl that's got a pink ring in it?
I'm not judging that.
Gross.
It's pink mold.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's mold
Gross.
Yeah.
in the toilet bowl.
Yeah. That's okay.
Ugh.
Now, I mean, there's a difference between is there sitting urine or like, Mr. Hanky, is he taking
Skid
a little
marks.
swim right there?
There's some rubbing is racing.
Ugh.
Right. Like,
Gross.
previous person was a freckler. I get what you're talking about. Yeah. Dude, that happens, bro. That happens in everybody's house. I'm hoping that you would, at least go in there and take that little.
Canos 82945. News quickies are stories you may have missed in the news. We cover them here and put a link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69.
It's time for News Quickies, world news, local news, and news that just makes you say, what the Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with what's going on. News Quickies from the Big Man Morning Show at 97.5 KMOD.
Woman arrested for shoplifting during Shop with a Cop event. This happened in
Read the room, whore.
For real.
right.
The irony.
62-year-old woman attempted to shoplift from Walmart in Livingston County during Shop with a Cop on Saturday. There were 75 police officers from different agencies present at the event, according to the press release. The event gives area children, through donations from local businesses, the opportunity to partner up with a police officer and shop for themselves and family for the holidays. Walmart staff notified a Michigan State Police trooper who was participating in the event that the woman was attempting to steal $727.86 worth of merchandise. The trooper followed the woman out to her car, which was parked next to all the patrol vehicles of the officers participating. The woman was from Hazlitt. She was arrested on scene and lodged into Livingston County Jail. I mean, could you pick a worser day? I mean, really.
Yeah, that's bad choices.
Absolutely.
That
Or
will never
maybe
catch me.
she thought, well, they're going to be busy. It's a
Right.
feel-good moment.
Right. They'll let me go because, the holidays.
Yeah, they'll have a big heart, like, oh, or maybe they'll think I'm participating in what they're doing, or maybe that I'm
Right.
a participant in this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be really occupied.
Right.
Dumbass.
From one theft to another, man tries to steal a Waffle House tattoo.
Huh?
Yeah. This happens over the weekend where a guy named Max Krejkant, he's 33, and he goes into the Ink Gods, that's with a Z, by the way, tattoo parlor there in Florida, and he is drunk AF. And he says, give me a Waffle House tattoo, run him a leg. So they do. They give him a Waffle House, a tattoo of the Waffle House logo right there on his right calf. So when it came time to pay, well, he did everything he could to not have to pay. He refused all options, is what they say, to satisfy his debt. So what does the owner of the tattoo shop do? Well, he has to call the police now. When the police come out, they searched him. Old Max only had $6 in his pocket. They ended up taking him to jail for theft, where he bonded out later after paying $150, which is $100 less than what the tattoo cost. So, yeah. Nonetheless, they say the owner of the tattoo shop says that this happens quite often, but mostly during spring break and not so much during the holiday season.
I mean, it is the reason.
Right.
Cats could double your chances of schizophrenia.
Huh.
Reason number 7,022. Studies show that owning a cat could double your chances of schizophrenia. Australian researchers looked at the results of 17 studies in 11 countries over 44 years. That feels in depth.
Yeah.
And found people who were around cats before age 25 had twice as much chance of developing the mental disorder. The scientists think it's because of parasites that live in cats, which can enter the body and affect the brain.
Wow.
Cats are awesome, they say. No, they are not. Again, another argument that cats are aliens.
Right. Here infecting your brains.
Giving you schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I hate them. I love them. I hate them.
Now you are one of them.
Yes. The story was meant for me. I was so excited. I was like, I don't even have to do any searching. This is the story for me.
And
Right.
yesterday there was a story about how dogs can help you not get dementia later in life. Like, see, that's why they're the superior pet.
That's right. All these stories are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69.
You're listening to the Big Mad Morning Show. This is Tulsa's.
Go with a couple things here because I'm trying to find fried mozzarella.
I mean, that's just deep
10.
fried cheese. But even then, I want to give it like a 4.
Calamari.
10.
Calamari. I'll go ahead and give that like maybe a 6 or something because I've had calamari at other places that's not Italian food.
Bruschetta or bruschetta.
10.
Was that the fancy bread?
It's toast. Most of the time, it's toasted little pieces of bread with tomatoes and olive oil and balsamic and basil. And
Yes,
stuff.
the extremely stale bread that you chip a tooth on every time you eat it. That's a 0.
Let's see. Let's get it. Spaghetti and meatball ravioli.
Lindsay?
6.
Only if it's Chef Boyardee. Which actually his name was Chef Boyardee, but we had to Americanize it by saying
Give me your rating, Mr. Wikipedia.
1,
Tortellini,
4.
2.
peppers and onions.
That's it. Like no sausage to put them on, or
Sausage,
anything?
peppers, and onions. It's typically
Like a
4.
bun, you know? I mean, I guess with the sausage, peppers, and onions, I give it like a 3, 4, maybe even.
fettuccine carbonara,
What's the carbonara part?
bacon.
Oh.
That's a 5.
What?
1.
Eggplant parmigiana,
Yeah, that's 8.
That's a big 0 for me, homie.
meatball sub.
Oh, God.
5.
This is getting worse and worse the further we go down. 0, man. That stuff is too messy. It doesn't eat well. You have to have a fork to eat a sandwich. I think that's retarded.
Oh, I liked it. Gnocchi.
What? Huh? Oh, okay. I've had that come in like a HelloFresh or something like that once. And I was like, what is this? What is this garbage?
Oh, you didn't enjoy it?
Lindsay.
5.
0.
Oh my gosh.
I know it sounds crazy, but like when it comes to like the Big 10 of restaurants and foods and stuff, Italian's at the bottom of that list for me, man.
Somebody texted in and said, you think Zio's is delicious? You got to try Luigi's and Skytook. So authentic. I think it's run by the actual Italian mob. I've had Luigi's and Skytook. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I like, it's not like I go to Zio's and I order one of everything.
Right.
I worked there after college, and their 5 cheese pasta, adding chicken to it, was so good.
Yeah.
Their spinach artichoke dip, which isn't Italian, whatever, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm. I just like the brown paper on the tables that give you crayons.
The cannoli, yeah, I know how to write my name upside down. Cannoli, with the Alfredo and the chicken stuff, so good there.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Italian dish, the cannoli. That's delicious, just because it's cheese and powdered sugar.
No. That's the dessert.
I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
That's the only Italian food that I really, 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 really like is a good old cannoli.
We haven't gotten to the real one. Pizza.
I've said it before, and you all thought I was crazy.
1 to 10.
1 to 10, a pizza. That's
10.
gonna be a 3 for me. So low on the scale, man.
Lindsay.
10.
Yeah.
Always.
Pretty much all those except peppers and onions that we've mentioned are about anywhere between an 8 and a 10 for me.
Really?
See, I love peppers and onions. I don't love the heartburn, but man, it's almost worth the heartburn for me.
A good bolognese pasta.
Well, Italian food. They are the Beatles for me.
A nice short
food.
short rib braised ragu.
Ragu, the sauce in a jar.
So it's just no. So good. I'm telling you, man, Italian food.
Man who killed Kevin Bacon charged with first-degree murder.
I mean, 5th degree?
6th degree?
6th degree?
Yeah. So this happened in Michigan. A judge has decided that Mark Latunsky will face a charge of first-degree murder after a degree hearing. The murder degree hearing for Mark Latunsky continued for a second day. This happened last Wednesday. He admitted to killing and mutilating Kevin Bacon, who is 25 years old. In court, he accepted a plea into open murder. The hearing was for the judge to determine if Mark will be sentenced for a charge of first-degree or second-degree murder, and the judge decided on the former. Back in 2019, Kevin Bacon, his body was found in Latunsky's home. He and Kevin Bacon met on a dating app, according to investigators. Kevin's body was hung upside down with a slit throat, according to police. Investigators also say that the man's testicles were removed and eaten.
This is a thing. How many stories have we read about castrations?
Yeah. At least a small handful that I can think of. I didn't even mean to do that.
I know you didn't. I could tell just by the way you delivered it. Yeah. It feels like we've read, it happened here in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Some guy come down to meet 2 other guys, and they end up cutting his balls off or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it for fun, or are they, trying to prove a point? I don't get, because me personally, I would never chop my balls off for fun.
No.
Is it a Musa muffin thing? Like you go for a little BDSM, just like tightening, and then there's some menacing people out there like, I'm just going to slice them off.
Right. Let's see how far we can take this train. Okay.
That doesn't... I cannot piece together these stories. This is one of the stories we do that I'm like, I don't get it.
Right.
I don't get why it happens. I don't get the people that are up for it.
Yeah.
Not that this was a willing participant. We don't know that part.
Right. The only thing that I can think of is obviously there's some kind of mental issue where the person whose balls are chopped off maybe has like a sex addiction or something to that effect. And they think that that's the only way they can get over it. The only way that they can cure themselves is to cut off that part of the body. Yeah. So therefore they won't have that sexual desire anymore, whether it's, raping babies or
like
just,
dogs.
Yeah, that too.
The idea that that's what you do to dogs so they don't they want to hump.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is more of a Jeffrey Dahmer situation where the guy, they met on a dating app. The guy came over to the guy's house and they, he ended up tying this guy up.
Yeah, I'm not buying that, because then there would be more. This isn't, you know what I'm saying? That you don't go, I understand there's a first time for everything,
Right.
but you're not going to be like, well, I think next time I'm willing to take a step further, get the skillet out.
Ooh.
Right.
I wonder
That's
if these
also,
taste like
it's also an important feature.
Mhm.
Did he cook them or did
Right.
he eat them raw?
right.
Because eating a heart of a deer is not an uncommon thing. Sometimes straight out of it, sometimes cooked.
Right. Even your Rocky Mountain oysters, bull balls, bull butter.
Mhm.
People eat those, but they don't eat them raw.
They don't eat them
No.
raw, right?
As far as I know, they don't. If you do, that makes you a little weird, and I don't think we should be friends anymore.
The idea that these two crazy people found each other, if that's the case,
Mhm.
God, the universe is insane.
Imagine the life
No.
they could have had if he would not have died.
I think they had the life they imagined.
He just ended up dead and ballless.
I think again, we don't know the motive of the other person from the story,
Yeah.
but that sounds like that was the motive of this guy. He literally was like, whatever you want to do, Judge.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently, and I dug into this guy a little bit. He had a master's degree. Like he was
Oh,
pretty,
yeah.
like, I mean, he was
The Unabomber had a master's. He was, come on.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Did you get that online nowadays?
Sentencing for him will be held on December 15th.
I saw a thing yesterday online. I don't know if it's true, but you know how they caught the Unabomber?
Hmm.
They caught the Unabomber. He was such an elitist. Like he thought he was so much better than everybody else. He couldn't stand the phrase, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And because he's like, that makes no sense. He was like, you can't have your cake and then enjoy it, like some other phrase.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he wrote this manifesto that got printed in the paper.
Mhm.
And his sister-in-law, who always thought he was a little off his rocker, was like, I think this is your brother. Went to her husband and he looked at him and was like, I don't think so. And then read the line that his brother was one of the only people who ever said,
Mhm.
you can't have your cake and then enjoy it as well.
Right.
Oh.
It's
And that's how they
okay.
got him.
Wow.
Ooh, damn it. Ted Kaczynski. Man busted for beating.
Also, he was one of the people that did the acid experiment where they gave everybody a bunch of acid to see how they would
yeah.
react.
Okay.
And he went crazy and he never forgave them.
Well, that would make sense, but no reason to go and send bombs through the mailbox.
No.
Yeah,
Just saying.
universities and bombs and airplanes.
Right.
The Unabomber. A doll feels a little too childlike.
Right.
Any kind.
Yeah.
Right.
Any
the
kind.
obvious, the sex dolls would
The
be.
word doll
Right.
is what negates it for me.
Well,
Right.
so toys, they have sex toys. Toys are for children.
No, they also have toys for adults.
Like
Drills,
Right.
Okay.
big boy toys.
Big boy toys.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And for the big
Beach
girls,
toys.
Yeah. Okay.
Lake toys.
Okay.
Toys is synonymous across the board.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Dolls, 94% associated with children, specifically
Yes.
girls.
Okay.
So it's a little bizarre.
A little weird. To each is their own.
See,
I'm not going to spend $2,700 on one of those real live looking sex dolls. That's just for
I'll
me.
take the bait. How much would you spend?
Yeah.
What is your top out
My top
on
out
sex dolls?
If I was to purchase a sex doll, Now, obviously, yeah, you could go and get one of those $50 jobbies that they always look surprised or whatever. But I would like to have, if I was going to get one, it would be one of those real dolls, right? But I'm not. Maybe $1,000, maybe $1,000, and that's a lot. That's a lot,
Right.
man.
I can speak Gimpy. He is not saying he would spend $1,000 on it.
Right.
Okay.
He's saying gun to the head.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
I think if he were going to buy one, that would not be the price point he'd shop at.
Mm.
He's saying if he had like the most,
Right.
it would have to be a utopian world. Probably would have had won $1 billion lottery. Like,
yeah.
Well, if that's the case, if I'm winning a lottery, then yeah, I want to get the high end one, man. Spend, $3,500, get everything that feels real, maybe one that's like got AI and can
If you
talk
won
back
the-
to you a little bit.
If you won the lottery, you wouldn't need to buy a sex doll. You'd have women lined up if you won the lottery.
not if you want to, you don't trust people and you don't want them around. You think all they want is money.
Boom. That real life sex doll ain't taking me to the cleaners. I'll be taking her to the cleaners, but she ain't taking me. Nay, nay.
Do you take a job as a rich person sex toy cleaner?
No.
How much are we getting paid? That's the real
Minimum wage.
question.
Minimum wage.
I'm not getting paid $7.50 to go
Everybody needs a job.
to go scrub out some rich person's sex doll.
Okay, but you get to sorry. However, you then get to be in their house when they're not there, like as a house caretaker.
I get to use all their
Yeah,
luxuries, so
yeah.
that means I get to drive the cars.
Probably not the cars, but you get to
then-
use their house.
Nah, I'm out then. If all I get is one room.
No,
and I
like
get
they're
to
not
use the-
there, so you can have the kitchen. You get to do the pool, like whatever. When they're not
Absolutely.
there, you're the caretaker.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to sleep in their luxurious bed with their 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton
Sure,
sheets. You see
they're
what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah, but they're not putting a futon
Right.
in your room.
Even then, if I don't have access to all the amenities that you have, we're talking, cars, boats, jet skis, private, planes, whatever, then I don't want any part. I would, if I had access to all that, sure, I'd do it for minimum wage. Why not?
Yeah, young me,
Mm.
access to all that stuff. Sure.
Yeah.
Every job's got hard days. I've told the story. I was a dog walker in San Francisco. The only difference between that job and any other job is I put the crap in my hand. That's the only difference.
Exactly.
Every job has bad things you got to deal with.
Absolutely.
And that one just happens to be the job.
Right. So, it is what it is. But look, I get to throw house parties, when they're gone, invite my friends over.
You're jeopardizing your job at that point.
Absolutely. But, hey, ride the wave while you can, right?
I saw that there's a sex toy because I have remote control sex toys, but it's always been like a handheld thing.
Right.
Now they have it's like an app on your phone connected via Bluetooth, and you. Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Balls to the wall, man. Balls to the wall.
The Jaguars were dealt a major injury blow to their starting quarterback. Jacksonville head coach Doug Peterson told the media on Tuesday that Trevor Lawrence suffered a high ankle sprain during the team's Monday Night Football loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Peterson said the star quarterback will be reevaluated later in the week, and there's no timetable for his return. C.J. Beathard will start if Lawrence can't play against the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday.
Come on. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl on a high ankle sprain. Played like two games in a row.
Right. Quit
Get
being
it together, man. Everybody wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion things.
CJ came from Iowa, didn't he?
Yes. C.J. Beathard.
Yeah. The Giants are sticking with Tommy DeVito as their starting quarterback. Head coach Brian Dable confirmed Tuesday that DeVito will start Monday night's matchup against the Green Bay Packers at MetLife Stadium. Veteran signal caller Tyrod Taylor is likely ready to return from a rib cage injury.
But with DeVito winning 2 of his past 3 starts, the G-men decided to stick with the undrafted rookie. Tommy Cutlets has thrown 6 touchdown passes and 1 interception in his 3 starts. The Patriots are going to be without their top running back for a while. According to ESPN, Ramondre Stevenson suffered a high ankle sprain and is expected to miss a few weeks. Stevenson sustained the injury during the first quarter of their recent loss to the Chargers after being hip drop tackled by linebacker Tuli Tuipulotu. Yeah, you
Try
heard
again.
right.
Let's hear it again.
Tuli
No, don't do it like that. Read it like a normal human being.
Tuipulotu.
I think it's one of those names that's just hard to read like a Tuilupo. Like read it like normal.
Tuli
No, don't do it like phonetically, like slow down like we're 5.
Tuipulotu.
No, read the whole name.
Tui.
No,
Tu
don't pause.
Tuli.
Read the name like Corbin
Tuli.
Pierce.
Tuipulotu.
That's awesome.
I know.
What a name.
Yeah.
I know. The 25-year-old is leading the Patriots with 619 rushing yards on 156 carries and is also leading the team with 38 receptions. The Patriots will turn to Ezekiel Elliott, who is in his first season in Foxborough as the leader in the backfield. The semifinals of the NBA in-season tournament are set. In the Eastern Conference, the Bucks took down the New York Knicks 146-122 to advance to the next round. Giannis Antetokounmpo led Milwaukee with 35 points and 10 assists in the victory. The Bucks will face the Indiana Pacers in the semifinals in Vegas on Thursday. In the Western Conference, the Lakers defeated the Phoenix Suns 106-103 in Los Angeles. LeBron James scored a team-high 31 points and dished out 11 assists in the win. The Lakers are going to play the New Orleans Pelicans in the semifinals in Sin City on Thursday. And the Kings are sharing their deepest condolences to the family of a fan who died at the Golden One Center in Sacramento. The team announced that a fan experienced a medical emergency during the first quarter of Monday's game against the Pelicans. Emergency medical services immediately responded to the incident and administered CPR, but the efforts were unsuccessful. The Sacramento Metro Fire Department said that the victim was a man in his 30s. And that is your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Great taste, 96 calories. Work. What do you mean?
So have you ever seen like in Hobby Lobby, they have those plaster Paris where you make the plaster Paris of like you holding your
Yes.
baby's
Absolutely.
hand or like you put your kid's foot in it.
Yeah, I did that in art class with my little hand. I know exactly what you're talking
Fantastic.
about.
Mm-hmm.
That would be this,
Mhm.
except it comes in a tube, and the idea is you do what you have to do, and then you do the mold, and then it sets, and then you. I don't hair.
Yeah.
2, any sort of deviation from what's happening in a sexual moment for me, it's over.
Right.
Mhm.
So your dildo would come out all weird and deformed, pretty much, basically.
Or smaller than the representation.
Well, what am I going to do with this thing, huh?
And do you tell people it didn't work? Like, I couldn't do it.
That's why you read the reviews first, right?
And I don't know anybody that's done it. So
Mhm.
I can't, I know they sell them.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure someone's going to be like, oh yeah, it was great.
I'll get one over the weekend, put one together, bring it in for you Monday.
You don't have to bring it in. You could just give me the verbal review.
Drunk Florida man kicked out of bar, returns and attacks bar owner with belt. This happened last weekend in West Palm Beach. A 37-year-old man kicked out of the bar for being too intoxicated, but quickly returned wielding a firearm, according to an affidavit. Fabio Lano Sanchez, arrested by Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. According to records, he was released on last Wednesday with a $60,000 bond amount. He arrived to the area on July 23rd around 2 a.m. The owner of the bar said that he shows up, he was a little drunk, then he got too drunk, and he started harassing customers.
So they asked the man to leave. He left to his car, but came back with a firearm. He pointed it directly at the bar owner and said, "I will shoot you." And then he threatened to shoot the bar's security. Well, then Sanchez decided, "I'm going to just take off my belt," and started swinging it at the bar owner. He hit him multiple times. A security guard began fighting with the suspect, and the bar owner began fearing for his life. He told deputies that's when he called 911, and they showed up, arrested him, said he was going to kill everybody. The owner had an injury on his finger from the belt. The guy himself did not have any injuries. The suspect had some scrapes and bruises on his face in his mugshot, though.
That's a very underrated weapon.
Absolutely,
A belt is, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some damage with a
Yeah.
belt. Trust me, I know. But to use it in like a street fight is not something you see every day. You hear about guns, knives, crowbars, baseball bats. I appreciate this guy for whipping out his belt.
Yeah, if you're good, like that whole towel whip, that people,
Yeah.
if you can do that with a belt,
You could whip the S out of
Yeah,
somebody. And you don't even have
especially
to
if it's
towel
leather.
whip them with it. You could whip them like a slave.
uh-huh.
Whap! You know, right across the face. That's going to
Get the
hurt.
buckle.
Oh, yeah. Well, the buckle's good for handle.
Oh, that's true.
I guess I think of the scene from Indiana Jones
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
when Jones is in the street and the guy has the sword and he goes,
He's all over here.
and he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Right.
So
Well, everybody knows you don't bring a belt to a gunfight. However,
apparently you do.
the owner didn't have a gun.
One of them had a gun, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he did,
bad
yeah.
guy had a gun, but
Yeah.
he decided not to use the gun. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to take my belt off and whoop him like a step kid. Quote unquote Christian woman arrested at a splash park. This happens in Ohio, where cops were called out to the Cedar Point Shores Water Park there in Sandusky. All right. They say that a woman that describes herself as a Christian and a grandmother was arrested because witnesses told her that she called a child a brat, a fat ass, and then pushed him off a floating toy.
I mean, brat,
Right.
fat ass.
And then pushes his tubby ass off the floating toy. Get out of here, fatso. Yeah. So they show up to this water park because this elderly woman, she's 67, and she's picking on this kid. They talked to the mother. Her name's Jennifer. She told them what was going on. And she fingered the 67-year-old woman. She's over
Ugh.
there. The cops go over there and they talk to her. They're like, "What's your name?" And she says, "I am Jennifer Lee Miller." And then she gives them an address, a date of birth, phone number, all the information they're looking for. And she admitted to calling the kid a brat, but she denied swearing at the child and says that she never touched him at all. She says that she's a good Christian woman and a grandmother and would never do such a thing. Anyhow, other witnesses contradicted what Jennifer had to say. And that's when the cops are like, "Listen, Miss Miller, if we have to come out here again, we're going to arrest you for disorderly conduct." And that's when Jennifer's like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So the cop leaves. And then I guess something clicked in the cop's brain, like, something didn't seem right about this whole situation. So he goes back to the water park. And I guess Jennifer, Ms. Miller, the 67-year-old lady that called the boy a fat ass and a brat and pushed him off the float, she gave him a fake name, a fake address, and a fake phone number.
Christianity.
Right.
Mhm.
That just went to busy. I guess the cop tried to call the phone number and it's all ding, 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 ding. Sorry, you're busy. Anyhow, so they go back and talk to her about it. And she said that she didn't have an ID and that she felt she was being harassed by the police. She eventually admitted her name was Janet Nail, and they took her in for obstruction.
I love when people use whatever thing
Mhm.
to validate their behavior or to invalidate their behavior.
Mhm.
Like, I would never do that. I'm a teacher.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a woman.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a family man.
Mm.
I would never do that. I'm a veteran.
Mhm.
I would never do that. I'm a Christian. Like,
Mhm.
settle.
People are people, man. People
Yes.
do crazy, stupid things.
Those behaviors or those traits hardly make you incapable of doing bad stuff, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. You can still be a good Christian person and be a douchebag.
Yes. 2 men hold driver hostage after delivery of cold kebabs. So a 14-hour standoff went down in the UK when 2 men held their delivery driver hostage after he, quote, failed at his job when their kebabs arrived late and cold and their salad was missing. Paul, I'm so hungry. Burton, 45, and Nathan, I'm with him, Turner, decided to live stream the whole thing on Facebook.
Oh, God.
Complaining to police about the shoddy driver. After a police negotiator tried to calm things down, Burton fired a shot at a police car, nearly hitting one of the officers. But as an armed officer got into place to take a shot, if necessary, the pair came out of their apartment and surrendered because S got real. Burton was sentenced to a 7-year prison sentence for attempting to cause a grievous bodily harm and 2 charges of possessing a firearm without a permit. Turner was hit with 4 charges of criminal damage and got 20 months.
Wow.
Damn.
Listen, you order delivery service, you're taking a chance it's cold. That's probably the number one reason I will not get a delivery order through like a DoorDash.
All right.
Because I know there's a high probability it will be cold
Mhm.
when it gets to me.
Yeah, you got
Or
take
sweaty.
traffic into a consideration, and just anything really. But it happens. What do? You put it in the microwave. It's okay.
You can't microwave everything. I mean, you can, but it doesn't it's not the same.
No, it's definitely not the same.
Egg rolls do not microwave well.
No, not the next day, but just enough to, at least get some warmth back into it.
No, but I think the only time when I DoorDash, I never have bad luck when I order Chinese food.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. The phone number 918-460-KMOD. Coming up, we're going to do tickets to see Vince Neil. We got our top 5 songs. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. And we welcome Scott Stapp on Saturday, December 30th to the Hard Rock Live. You got to be 21 years old to check out the show, and you have to have a valid ID to attend. Sign up now to win your tickets online at KMOD.com.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Good morning, Corbin. There's still time to sign up for My Big Adventure. That's a VIP experience that you'll never remember, to the Cowboy Cup, which is happening this weekend. It is Oklahoma's premier cannabis championship and arts festival. We'll be picking a winner. Somebody will be picking a winner on Thursday. Good luck.
Let's see what Lindsay wants to talk about.
Lindsay, Lindsay, L-I-N-D-S-E-Y, Lindsay. 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 L-I-N-D-S-E-Y, Lindsay. Do you feel that?
Have you ever heard of a sour toe cocktail?
Can't say I have.
Is that the one made in Alaska, Yukon Jack, and it has like a frostbitten toe in it?
Yeah, it's actually in Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Alaska, Canada. What's the difference?
Yeah, right. And it's a real thing in Dawson City. And it's a famous traditional deal seasoned with an amputated toe. And it's now actually on its 10th digit. Yeah. Sick, right?
What do you mean by 10th digit? They've cut off like all
They've
9
worked their
other
way
toes?
across all the piggies, maybe?
Yeah, right. Actually, no. It was established in 1973.
Okay.
It has become a tradition in Dawson City. An actual human toe that's been dehydrated and preserved in salt, used to garnish a drink of your choice. Nope. The first toe is said to have belonged to a miner and rum runner named
Not minor, underage.
Right, right.
They
It's an
just go-
important detail.
Go
True.
cutting the toes off of children up there in Canada, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they were so nice. What's that about?
His name was Louis Lycan, who had his toe frostbitten appendage amputated in the 1920s. He preserved it in a jar of alcohol in his cabin for memories. And roughly 50 years later, in 1973, Yukon local Captain Dick Stevenson found the jar containing the toe while cleaning a cabin. And Captain Dick brought the toe down to the sourdough saloon and started plunking it into the drinks of those who were brave enough. And thus the Sourdough Cocktail Club was formed. But the original toe lasted only 7 more years after its discovery. And according to the Sourdough Cocktail Club, in July 1980, a minor named Gary,
Not child.
right, named Gary Younger was trying for the sourdough record. On his 13th glass of sourdough champagne, his chair tipped over backwards and he swallowed the toe.
Settle down.
Yeah. Sadly, toe number 1 was not recovered. Since then, 7 more toes have been donated to the bar. Toe number 2 was given after an amputation due to an inoperable corn. I know, gross, right? Toe number 3 came from a victim of frostbite and was also accidentally swallowed. Toe number 4 was an anonymous toe, later stolen by a hunter. The 5th and 6th toes were donated by a Yukon old timer in return for free drinks for his nurses. Toe 7 was an amputation due to diabetes. And toe 8 arrived in a jar of alcohol with a message: don't wear open toe sandals while mowing the lawn. On August 24th, 2013, a man ordered a sourdough shot, swallowed it, paid the $500 fine, and promptly exited the saloon. And that is the first and only time the toe is deliberately consumed. And as a result, the fine has been increased to $2,500. People take this shot to join the Sourdough Cocktail Club. And in June of 2017, the toe was stolen and later returned via mail to the owner. The rules have changed in the past 27 years. The sourdough can pair with any drink, but one rule remains the same. You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but the lips have got to touch the toe.
I see what they did there. They made that rhyme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my question to you is, would you, to get into the Sourdough Cocktail Club, like when in Rome?
I don't mind sticking a big toe in my mouth, you know, sexy time. Da-da-da. Hey, baby, let me suck on those corns. But I've gone, how old am I now? 43?
Mm-hmm.
Gone 43 years without, you know, doing a sourdough cocktail shot. I think I can go another 43.
Yeah. I mean, here's a picture of the...
Yeah, I see it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
They don't see it, but yeah. It looks like a prune with a toenail on it.
It sure does. In salt. I mean,
I'm not buying this.
Like it really happens?
That it's really a toe, a human toe.
Okay, why not?
One, there's not a lot of photos of this.
Okay.
The stories are a little over the top fabricated.
It feels like, I mean, there's probably only a handful of people in this club.
Maybe the original story of this,
Uh-huh.
I might buy that.
Mm-hmm.
But why?
I think you'd have to be pretty already wasted in order to do this.
Maybe. You might be right. By the way, I'm a hard no on this.
Right.
I don't care about being in clubs. Any of the clubs I join is involuntarily happening
Yeah.
because of something stupid I've done, not because of something I've wanted to do.
What is your one in Rome moment, though? Like, is there something that you would, like, for me, okay, one in Rome, I'd go to a nude beach. I'd partake in that.
They have one here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but I'm not
What?
not going to go out of my way.
Well, hold on.
You said when in Rome.
But
If
I
you travel
haven't-
to Europe to go to one, you have gone out of your way.
Yes, but I'm not gonna, like, I'm in Oklahoma and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, Ah,
I don't know what
I'm
you
not
mean. Your
stumbling-
words.
I'm not stumbling upon it.
You don't. If you're in Europe, you're not stumbling upon it. You're gonna go. Hey, let's go to the nude beach.
Yeah. Well, we're here. Like, let's partake.
Well, you're here. It's only like an hour away. Not even that. 45 minutes.
Well, if everyone wants to go, then sure.
Is it because
go.
people know you here and you're afraid you'll see somebody you know? Or
Probably.
okay.
Yeah,
See,
probably.
I could buy that. And if you're in some foreign country, well, you don't know anybody there. Chances, somebody running into somebody you know is pretty slim.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes. Even if there's nude beaches down in Florida, I would do it there too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
On the toe thing, I'm a little unclear. Do you just suck on the toe?
You don't suck on it, but your lips do have to touch it in order to get into
kiss
the
the piggy.
club.
So not only is this some gross toe, but
Mhm.
other people, it's like a Blarney Stone. Like how many people get infected from the Blarney Stone? Have you ever read that story? Like, don't kiss the Blarney Stone. The locals piss on it.
Right.
And so this feels along the same lines.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you can have
herpes
any
on
drink that
vacation.
you want. They just put the toe in it,
Mhm.
in your cocktail.
Yeah. Your win in Rome moment, Gimpy, what would it be?
I probably I'd go see a donkey show for sure if I was in Tijuana.
Mhm.
When in Rome, might as well. Let's go catch a donkey show and see what it's all about. I'm not saying I'd participate, but I'd totally go watch.
That is also another one that I feel like is just steeped in folklore.
It very well may be.
The flashing of the bright lights type
Right,
of thing.
right.
I'm not saying there never has been one,
Mhm.
but I know a lot of people that have gone to Tijuana, and I don't know a lot of people that have gone to that. And I feel like if you're going to Tijuana as a dude,
Right. That there's some things you should partake in.
yeah,
Absolutely, 100%. If it was the case, it's like, hola, Senor Gimpy. You want to see the show of the ass? I'd be like, sure, why not?
follow
why
me.
not? Follow me.
Hey.
Follow me, stranger says.
It's not a lit sign that says donkey show,
Right.
right? You've got to find somebody on the street. So you're just going to follow some stranger
Yeah.
in
yeah.
Tijuana, Mexico.
Yeah, it's part of the adventure. Part of the adventure. Not only do you get a donkey show, it's will I make it out alive?
So let me get this
Right.
straight. You, as an American, won't even go to a resort unless there's an armed guard at the
I
entrance.
never said
But
that.
you will go to a donkey show when some guy in the street says, "Hey, you looking for a watch?"
Yeah,
like-
you got me mixed up with another person now. Would you
I'm,
only go?
I'm
to-
saying you. I'm not
in
you.
general, I get what you're
Royal
saying.
you.
I get what you're saying. But yeah, totally, 100%, 100%. If I'm going to Mexico for a little vacay, okay, then yeah, why not venture outside of the walls of the resort that you're in and go see some authentic culture. Maybe it's a
No.
donkey show.
I don't think a donkey show is authentic culture.
Maybe it's a cockfight. Who knows what's going to
Yeah.
happen? You see what I'm saying? But yeah, when in Rome, why the hell not? How often are you going to be able to see a donkey show or a Mexican cockfight? Just on regular everyday adventures.
Internet.
That's not the same. It's not the same.
Hey, if we can say, hey, you don't have to climb Mount Everest, you can just look at the pictures online, then I think that argument holds true in this too.
Yes, absolutely.
Nah. No
I don't-
way.
I would be, let's just say it Israel.
Uh-huh.
I would be terrified just walking into the place. It would be the scene from Weird Science when they go to the jazz club. Like, it would be awkward.
Yeah.
Right. It sure would be, but you get a couple of shots of tequila down you, maybe some cervezas, and the next thing you know, it's a good time out down at the show.
It feels like to leave, you'd have to pay an exit fee.
Right.
And they're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like it reeks of potential scenarios of just capitalizing on Americans, like believing something like that's a thing. And maybe it is, I don't know. Mine would have to be if I was in Japan and their big thing was like what's the Cobra Heart or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like you can eat a snake's heart.
Oh,
Like, okay,
you do that?
if I was there,
Do snakes have hearts?
Of course.
well, they have to have cold blood pumping through them, don't they?
Sure.
I'm just saying that, like, whatever the thing is there. When we went to France, not that this is anything comparable to the 2 examples or 3 examples we've had, is I wanted to eat the raw meat thing
Mhm.
where they dice up meat and toss it with an egg yolk. And I was like, yeah, I'll try this. It's a French delicacy,
Yeah.
right? And so I order it we go to this place. My wife's like, I don't want none of that. I'll have a salad.
Right.
And so I order it, and the guy goes, are you sure?
Oh.
And I was like, oui.
I ain't no pussy.
And he's like, yeah, do you want mustard or ketchup? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a choice. Okay, mustard. And he brings, I'm not joking, a plate the size of this keyboard
Wow.
filled with chopped beef, raw,
Oh.
tossed in egg yolk.
All right.
And so I'm like, oh no. And it's stacked like it's got to be like 3 or 4 inches tall.
Right.
Like it's a mound of meat. And my wife looks at me terrified for the gas that will show up later. And I start eating, and I get about 3 bites in, and I tell my wife, I can't do it. She's like, okay, then stop. I'm like,
Yeah.
it feels rude. My wife, who's awesome, goes, so?
Yeah, right?
I was like, I don't want to, I feel like that would, she's like, they're laughing at you in the kitchen for sure.
Absolutely.
Right. Just for
100%.
ordering it and eating it.
Yeah, you
He
stupid
walked-
American.
Exactly. He walked into that kitchen, silly American.
That's funny.
And it was on the menu. It wasn't like I was, Clark Griswold on European vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it just a texture thing that got you? Or was it taste? Combination of all the above?
Yes,
Yeah. That's kind of what I figured.
it wasn't cold.
Right.
Oh, it
kinda
wasn't.
room temperature.
Yeah. And we were
Slimy.
outside on the patio,
Uh-huh.
sun,
Uh-huh.
July.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the stupidest thing ever.
That's disgusting.
But when in Rome,
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
They got this thing over in, I think it's Japan or whatever, where you eat a live octopus.
Yeah.
And I always thought that would be interesting, but I've heard stories of people dying because the octopus, well, one, it's alive when you swallow it, and it like takes its little tentacle suction cups and sticks to your throat, and it'll choke you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like octopus. I think I'll just eat mine while, cooked.
Grilled is
Mhm.
the best.
Mhm.
Tastes like steak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's delicious. But yeah, I've heard that too. It's like it's like eating you back.
Yeah. I'm good on all that.
Yeah. And not only that, but in Japan, they slurp it. It's like when they're eating their noodles and their octopus.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? There's there's a Japanese woman online that slurps her noodles and her food, but when
I've seen the Japanese lady slurping, but I don't remember their actual food involved.
yeah, well, and it's cooked, but it's not, they're still live. It's
Okay.
not fully, but it is really hard to watch. And it is, I mean, it's pretty awful. And you wonder how, and they're making noises.
Yeah.
Not just her, but the animals that she's eating. It's crazy.
I just because I see it online doesn't mean it's genuine.
Truth.
It is authentic. When we were in Aruba, no, the Dominican, we had tiger fish was like a thing
Mhm.
to try and, I think it's tiger fish because it's such an invasive species. They make it into a local fish sandwich and stuff. We did that. It
Yeah.
sucked. It was not delicious.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. In Russia, apparently they eat beef tongue for breakfast.
Tongue's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like tongue. And not for breakfast, probably.
Tongue taco, get out of here.
Or salted herring.
I
They'll
kind of,
do that for
I've had that too.
breakfast, yeah.
Like, I'm a believer that it doesn't have to be extreme to be the local thing.
No.
mhm.
But that's what we hear and read on the internet, so that's what we go for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not running with the bulls. I'd stomp grapes in Italy to make wine. Probably wouldn't drink
That's not
it.
that's not a thing.
It's not?
No,
Mhm.
they have machines.
Yeah.
So if you go, you might as well be going to Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way they did it in the old days doesn't mean they're still, being cork soakers there.
My mother was a cork soaker. Her mother was a cork soaker.
My daughter, the best cork soaker around. It's a Saturday Night Live bit for those who don't know about how they get the corks in the wine bottles.
Mhm.
Probably one of the funniest skits ever.
Ever.
Well, anyway, when
Sometimes I like to soak 2 corks at the same time.
when in Rome, if you want to check out the sour toe cocktail, I'll put the link up on our Facebook page. And when you're in Canada, you can try your own sour toe cocktail.
Lindsay, 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 Lindsey, Lindsay. Lindsay.
Right.
There are players, football players, that run on broken legs
Mhm.
and don't know that they're broken until later.
Okay, so to me, broken and fractured are 2 totally different things. Like a hairline fracture, a small fracture, you can still perform with a fracture. But like when I broke my leg, it was broke, floppy doppy.
Yeah.
There's no way I could stand on it. You know what I
Penile
mean?
fracture is this term,
Yeah.
but people say the same thing.
Yeah, say it's
Fracture and broken,
Mhm.
kind of, unless you're a medical doctor using it looks like you have a fracture
Mhm.
or you have a broken arm.
Right. So with
Because
that,
Dr. Stuck serious. That's why this
Right.
voice works.
So when it comes to the penile fracture, I just said, most people can work through a fracture, a hairline fracture. There's no working through that one. That's just too sensitive of an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how does it get fixed? You just ice
Just
it?
time.
Yeah. Like a lot of breaks. Like
Yeah.
if you broke your foot, you just don't do it. You just have to be careful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You still have to walk.
on it.
The cast.
Yeah,
Oof.
Right.
Not something I'm signing up for.
Right.
And having it removed. Pass. Hard pass.
Right. Where they break out
Soft
that
pass.
saw. Yeah. It won't cut you. Not taking a chance there, Doc. Teen arrested for setting hotel fire after fighting with mom. This also comes out of Florida, Ocala, Florida, where I guess a 16-year-old girl got in a fight with her mom at like 3:30 in the morning and then goes down into the lobby and sets a sofa on fire. So the police and the ambulance and the fire trucks, everybody comes out, all these emergency crews or whatever. All 320 residents of the hotel, all the guests were evacuated at 3:30 in the morning.
The witching hour.
So the firefighters came in and they're battling through the smoke-filled lobby, and they find the fire, the source of it. The couch is on fire. They put it out with their little water can. They say that the damages cost a couple of $100,000 to this couch, and the wall that was behind it totally scorched, burnt up. Pictures are on our Facebook page. They ended up arresting the girl. They didn't say what the girl and the mom were fighting over, and they didn't say what led to, her wanting to set the couch on fire. My guess is probably just angry teen and probably had some alcohol involved in there somewhere. That's just my theories on it. Nonetheless, they went ahead and arrested her for arson, and the investigation continues.
So many things on this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let you get your luggage. Like you went out of the hotel and then they're like, you can't go back in.
Mhm.
Right.
So you got to go find a place without your stuff,
Right.
wallet probably,
Right.
credit cards probably.
Maybe your phone.
And so all you're in is your skirt, your tidy whities or whatever.
So you're talking about the 320 guests that were
Yeah.
evacuated. They did let them all go back in. All the guests were allowed to go back into their room and go back to sleep after it was all said and done.
I'm shocked by that because
Yeah.
the sprinkler system has gone off
But just
and
in
it flooded
Mhm.
the floor.
the lobby area, though, just the first floor and that lobby area. Anybody
Still feels like danger, Will
2
Robinson.
through 9. Oh, I totally get you. Smoke damage, smoke inhalation,
Mhm.
whatever. I was surprised that they let them all go back in as well, but that's what they said.
Dude, I was unaware that sprinkler systems in a building go off by floor.
Yeah, I thought it was all
All at
automatic
one time.
everywhere.
Maybe this is a different one, but the story did say that they let all 320 guests or everybody that was evacuated go back to their room later on that morning, probably about 5:30 or so. Still, 3:30 in the morning, you woke up, you're probably on vacation.
Sure.
You gotta evacuate everybody, go meet in the parking lot over there by the fourth
By Bob Evans.
street light.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then you're waiting there for hours. Yeah, after they get everything cleaned up, 'cause
Smoke fills the whole place.
oh yeah. And they're like, you can go back. I'd probably be like, okay, I'm gonna go get my stuff and I'm gonna check out and go find another place. And then we'll deal with reimbursement after this.
All right. Then the other thing I was thinking about, your kid does this. How do you, what do you do?
What's the punishment?
Right. We'll deal with this when we get home.
How old was the girl?
16.
Yeah, like, what do you do?
You're grounded. Grounded
No
for
screens.
arson.
Yeah.
Right. She's 16 and went to jail for arson. So chances are this parent or the parents are going to be like, well, she went to jail and she's being charged, and they're probably going to take out the couple $100,000 worth of damage out of her
Right. That's
allowance.
a whole, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Feels too late. Like, you already, she's
So give up.
already.
Okay. Give up on your kid. Okay.
No. I'm not saying that.
You're a lost cause. I tried.
Yeah,
for
that's what you
16
said. It's
years.
too late.
Why
Like,
don't you go live on the streets with the rest of the crackheads?
no, but I mean, like, it's too late to be like, you're grounded for, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, typically punishments come
What?
after the infraction.
sure, but she's in
It'd
jail.
be weird. It'd be weird to ground your kid like you're a precog or something for something that hasn't happened yet.
She's in
I don't know what you
jail.
did yet, but you're grounded. I know you're going to do something. You're grounded.
I hope jail kind of wakes her up a bit.
Well, she's not going to jail.
She did. They arrested her.
But she went to juvie,
Right.
Okay.
And she probably may not spend a whole lot of time
which
in
is
there.
which is an education system.
Right.
I mean, there's probably going to be big time fine. She's going to have to go to court.
Her parents will pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will not be paying. That's what I'm saying. Like, she is going to be released probably to their
Yeah. She'll be paying
supervision.
It back. If
Mhm.
she's my kid.
No, she won't be paying back.
If she's my kid, she is. She's
No,
going to be working it off. Hard labor.
for 40 years.
Busting rocks in the backyard.
This isn't you
Yes.
bought her an iPhone.
right.
Chink.
This is, as Gimpy said, if not 2 commas, it is definitely 100,000.
Mhm.
She would be paying back forever.
Mhm.
You owe me every paycheck for the rest of your life.
Well, that makes no sense either.
When you retire, I want your retirement. I want your 401k.
See what I'm saying? Like, it just creates all these questions.
There's only 2 ways that you can pass a whiz quiz without using some kind of illegal substance. And that is one.
Broccoli.
No.
Oh.
Just naturally stopping. Okay. And cleaning yourself out.
Surefire,
that way.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's like, abstinence is the only way to guarantee not getting pregnant. Nonetheless,
Mhm.
the other way, which is only good for like an hour or 2, maybe a day, is a flush. And that's just to drink a buttload of water, because when you do that, you're not urinating anything for your test, but just straight water.
Well, that's why when you buy those pee cleans, they're like, drink a ton of water, because it isn't that. It's the flushing. Have you ever taken a marijuana drug test,
Yeah.
Lindsay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I passed.
Okay, what's the story? Like,
Just for a background check for a job. But I
in
don't.
radio?
Yeah. Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. The first radio station I ever worked at in South Dakota.
Huh.
Yeah. But at the time, I mean, I was 20 years old. So I wasn't really into pot so much. So it wasn't a big deal.
I didn't do the marijuana at the time.
And also, yes, I had to take one when I started substitute teaching. So back in Indiana, I had to take one. And again, I wasn't even back then a heavy pot smoker. So it wasn't enough like in my system to even
Are you a
worry
heavy
about
pot
it.
smoker now?
No, I'm not.
Well, I just
So-
you were implying that you
Yeah,
weren't, so I didn't
yeah.
know if you were
So
now.
I've never
More of a
had
pot
to
eater.
worry about it. Yeah, it's never been in my system enough to even worry about it.
Gimpy, you said 1. How many have you taken total in your whole?
1 to get a job at Target.
Huh.
No.
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Let's play a game because we got tickets to see Vince Neil at the Hard Rock in January. Tickets are on sale now, hardrockcasinotulsa.com. We're going to play Pick the Flick. Current record is, there we go. Sir, you are leading with 17. I have 13 and Lindsay has 10. Last week's winner was
That'd be me.
so Corbin and Lindsay at 918-460-KMOD. 918-460-KMOD. Call up, decide who's going to be the clue giver, whoever gets the most right. Getting those tickets to see Vince Neil at the Hard Rock in January. 918-460-KMOD. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Brandon.
Brandon, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How's everybody?
Good, man. Brandon, who do you want to give clues, Lindsay or Corbin?
Corbin.
Brandon, 60 seconds are on the clock. Timer starts after the first clue. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Brad Pitt, Ed Norton, and this
Fight
is what you
Club.
do. Yes. This is John Travolta and Nicolas Cage movie.
Snake Eyes.
No, this is also what
Face
you
Off.
do. Yes. Reese Witherspoon, and she is an attorney. It is a reference to her hair color.
Legally Blonde.
Correct. This is the was it J.R. Tolkien? The books made into a movie about the
Lord of
circle.
the Rings.
Correct. Mike Wazowski.
Monsters, Inc.
Correct. This is one of the better post-apocalyptic zombie movies in reference to a calendar month.
Ooh. Brad Pitt. It's not World War
No,
Z.
it's a European movie. How many days are in February?
28 days later.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. This is Robin Williams, where he's trying to get close to his kids' time. Looks like 5 is the number we got. Brandon, hang on the line. That might be good enough for the win. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You sure it's 5? I got 6.
I didn't get it because I said
got
days.
Got it.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Ryan.
Ryan, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. Ryan, 5 is the number to beat. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
This is about women who strip. And I believe Jesse Spano was in it from Saved by the Bell.
Oh.
Another word for female entertainer.
Stripper.
Okay, another one. Another. Hey, we're gonna go see a movie. You might say we're going to the. You're watching your favorite television
Show.
and then female. There's the opposite of boy.
Girl.
Put those two words together.
Girl show.
Flip them around.
Showgirl.
And make it plural.
Showgirl.
Yes. Double pointer. Tall and skinny male.
Time. I'm sorry, man. 1 was not enough.
Freaking hard.
Yeah, it's a little different when you're playing on the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
No worries,
All right.
man. You'll get another chance.
All
Have a great day.
All right.
Sorry, you're such a loser.
Brandon, congratulations, man. You're getting those tickets to go see Vince Neil at the Hard Rock on January 12th.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Excellent job.
Appreciate you.
Hang on the line. Get your info. Lindsay,
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
she
I
dug
don't
in.
think it would have helped.
Pass. Yeah, this is a horror movie based off of an imaginary person, super tall, super skinny.
Yeah.
Another name for skinny.
Yep.
Slender Man would be the name of that. And the name of performers in Vegas.
Right. The ladies that dance in Vegas. That's what they're actually called.
Showgirls. Come on, girl. Have you not seen this? Have you not seen Showgirls? Girl.
Man, I can't believe that. One of the worst sex scenes ever. All flopping and
Versace.
flailing around in that Versace. It's Versace.
Yeah. Robin Williams. Hello. Where he makes himself into a woman to get close to his kids. Yeah. That's it. Dude looks like a lady. And Pierce Brosnan,
Tootsie.
also Sally Field. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Doubtfire.
Yeah.
All right, the record now.
Well, it just furthers your lead with 18, keeps me at 13, keeps Lindsay at 10.
All right, take a break and we'll be back.
The Big Mad Morning
Good old Robbie Kelly heard that song, was like, that's a damn good idea. And he's charged with robbery. He was smashing the window of a gas station, climbed through a window to take cash and ciggies. He's in jail on $15,000 bond. Really just a reason to play Peter Gabriel.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That song right there, when I was DJing at Rumors, the second swingers club that I was at, that was the boss's favorite. And I swear I would hear it at least 4 times a night. And I'm like, can I please stop playing Peter Gabriel?
Did he come over and be like, hey, man,
Where's my song?
play Sledgehammer?
can
I
you-
want to hear.
You throw on some Sledgehammer for me? Sure thing, Bobby. Gotcha.
Right. I always love when there's like a DJ who's wiki spinning.
Mhm.
That is an art.
It is.
Yeah.
DJing and picking songs in a selected format to try and get people to dance on the dance floor or to create a certain energy in a room
Right.
is 100% an art.
Yeah.
And then you got someone coming over going, hey man, will you play the Macarena? And they're like, oh, because you don't want to say no, but you do.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll see what I can do for you. And then they're like, well, here's a crispy Lincoln for you. And I'm like, ugh, all right, fine. I'll pay your Macarena for $5.
$5 to have some.
$5.
That's so. That
Listen.
seals feel stupid to me.
Well, it's better than what some of the people do. They would pay nothing or $1 to play.
That feels
Listen.
$1 feels fair.
Maybe, but we live on tips. God damn it.
You made.
Not necessarily, but
Wait,
it
hold on,
helped out
Sonic
tremendously.
employee. What are you talking about?
I got my wages, yes, but the tips were always good and always appreciated.
Of course.
So here's the thing.
You said you made your living off tips, which implied you did
Yeah,
not make a salary. You did not make money.
I mean, I did, but it helped add towards the living that I'm making these
Of
tips.
course.
here.
Like we should then get tips.
Shouldn't we though? I love it. No, we can't leave a jar out front. The hobos will take it.
What was the
Nonetheless.
biggest tip?
His
More
name
than he
was
can
Tony.
handle.
He was about 6'7", 450 pounds.
Biff.
Massive.
Biff, what is his name?
Right.
Tiny.
Ew. I think the biggest tip giggity, that I got was, I think it was like a $20 bill. Yeah, it was a $20
For one song?
For one song.
Ugh.
Yeah, those drunk bitches, man. When they want to hear it, they'll pay for it. I'm like,
What's the
"Eh."
most you hauled in a night, tip wise?
Tip wise is like $100.
Damn.
That ain't too awful.
not bad.
No.
And I don't have to split that with like, the other bar backs, bartenders,
Right.
waitresses, or whatever. That's all me. So that was
Would they split their tips with you?
no, hell no, never. But they had to split it amongst themselves
Sure.
or whatever. So I was total separate entity, got to keep everything.
I've never tipped a DJ ever. Well, I've told him to get out of that career, but I mean,
Yeah.
That's
I've
a
never.
horrible tip.
That's technically a tip. I've never. No.
Yeah.
Now, if you were did you ever DJ a gentleman's club?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't or wouldn't have back then, but no.
It's like having to be an employee at a weed store. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Good point.
Nothing would ever get done.
Get
Cinnamon.
to work.
Wait a minute. Who's going to announce Cinnamon? Get off of Cinnamon's lap, Gimpy. Come on.
She likes me, man.
Right.
It told
We're
me.
trying to pay each other's electric bills. Come on.
Predictions that were made in 1923 of what it would be like in 2023, which
Oh,
is,
fun.
That's
for
cool.
those that don't know, you're 4 days into it. One, the workday will be only 4 hours long.
Ha.
Check.
Yeah, right. We got that one, don't we?
It says that because of electricity, work will only be 4 hours long. That's what they said in 1823. Women will blacken their teeth and shave their heads.
Well, I mean, there's some
Wrong.
weirdos out there that would do that.
No,
You don't think?
no, there's no one do. There might be two,
That doesn't matter.
but it's not a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's now predicted that by the year 2023, only a mere little stretch of century ahead, women will probably be shaving their heads and the men will be wearing curls. Those two things are true. Also, the maidens may pronounce it the height of style in personal pimping to blacken their teeth.
That's interesting.
Nope.
They had it wrong. Whiten their teeth, yes.
Whiten,
Yeah, right.
Whiten their
yeah.
teeth,
You're
yeah.
right.
Radio, yes, hi,
Mhm.
will replace gasoline.
What?
Okay.
And an expert in airlines and airplanes gives, he predicts that by the year 2023, gasoline as a motive power will have been replaced by radio.
Okay.
And the skies will be filled with a myriad aft going over well-verified routes. So he's not wrong, by the way. This is actually happening and true.
Mm-hmm.
The belief that we just didn't understand then how radio waves would affect airplanes.
Right.
Now we know that not to be a problem unless it's your cell phone.
Turn it off.
All people will be beautiful by 2023. I present at least 2 cases, Your Honor.
Be nice to Lindsay.
Life expectancy will be 100 years.
What? People are dying earlier and earlier, man.
No,
No.
Cut that in half.
no. Life expectancy will be 300 years.
Oh,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
People will wear kidney cozies.
A kidney
What
cozy.
the hell?
Yes, kidney cozies will be worn to protect the kidneys on chilly days, just the same as a teapot in the north is kept warm by a tea cozy.
Okay. Do your kidneys get colder than the rest of your body?
No, but again, when they were doing medicine, one, there weren't doctors like what we know doctors to be now. People would just be like, I'm a doctor.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? And they used to drill holes in women's heads to
Right.
let out demons. And they thought washing your hands meant you weren't a good doctor.
Right.
The idea was that the bloodstained hands would prove you knew how to do the work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So men will curl their hair. Yeah, that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
The old man perm.
The U.S. will have a population of 300 million.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think we surpassed that one.
Yeah. Now I have 8 billion.
Fornicating is
It's-
fun.
It's in 2021, it was 331 million. So it's not a giant. It's not that far. Canada will have a population of 100 million.
Okay. I don't know what the population of Canada is, but I'm sure it's more than that. More than 100.
38.2 million.
Yeah.
Utensils will be made of pulp.
Pulp. Okay.
Utensils and dwellings will be manufactured largely of pulp and cements so as to utilize vegetation and stone in every stage of decay, ordinary waste, or unfitness. I mean, it's not wrong, right? Like MDF is a real product.
Uh-huh.
That's pulp, essentially, right?
Yeah. 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 I just don't know if I want to live in a house that's made of pulp and cements.
Flights from Chicago to Hamburg will only take 18 hours.
I've never flown from Chicago to Hamburg, so I do not know.
I think it's like 8 or 10, maybe.
Okay.
Newspapers will have been out of business for 50 years.
Wow. I mean,
They didn't get
they're half right.
Yeah.
Private kitchens will disappear.
Private kitchens.
Yeah,
huh?
they're citing articles, by the way. I'm reading from an article.
Okay.
The private kitchen will disappear. Tomorrow's food will be seasoned and prepared by chemical formulas,
Hello, Fresh.
which will preserve the freshness of fruits and meats, rid them of indigestible qualities, and send them to the table ready to use. Instead of sauces that merely cozen the palate, we shall have delectable blends of concentrated vitamins, calories, ferments, and tissue tonics.
Ew.
I mean, we have all that now, right?
Yeah, we do.
Look at like Frank's.
Yeah.
It is a tissue tonic,
Mhm.
if
Okay.
you will. The tissue of your tongue.
Got it. Okay.
Cancer will be eradicated.
I wish.
Cancer, tuberculosis, infantile paralysis, locomotor ataxia, and leprosy will be eradicated.
I don't think any of those are eradicated at all whatsoever.
I mean, we pretty much handled tuberculosis pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a good
And
handle
leprosy.
on leprosy.
I think
but,
leprosy's, got
Yeah.
you know, but there's still places in the world. When you say eradicated, I'm thinking it's like gone completely from the world, nowhere around it all whatsoever. Now, I'm sure there's third world countries where TB's still a thing, where leprosy's still a thing.
War will be wireless, and we might have telepathy or telepathy.
I like telepathic idea, but I mean, wireless, think about it.
War is
Cyber
wireless.
It is
yeah.
wireless,
Mhm.
yeah.
People will communicate using watch-size radio telephones.
Wow.
Watched size radio
I can answer the phone on my watch.
Yes,
I can
you
answer the phone on mine.
How fun are those, huh?
Yeah.
So they weren't too far off. Now, here's the problem with a thread like this.
Mhm.
Where's the ones that were way off,
Mm-hmm.
Right, of course.
right?
Of course. But they don't want those. Those aren't as interesting.
And they're only showing by 2023. I can't cite what year that came out of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just whatever the thread. Again, anything on the internet, man, you might as well just go with not true.
Right.
You're like, that might be true. Probably not. Might
Mhm.
be. Right? I was in a little Twitter conversation with somebody about the Twitter files.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's definitely some corruption being illustrated in those files. But one, Elon Musk picked which articles to release.
Mhm.
Two, picked the reporters to have go through them and release them. And he's hardly the most honest individual. And corruption, being in corporate America, is hardly a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Rugby player loses his favorite testicle in freak accident. Jack Johnson is the guy's name.
Making banana pancakes.
Right.
Not to be confused with the singer. He's a rugby star with the Newcastle Thunder over in England, and he was violently, he violently lost something extremely close to him in what he calls a freak accident during training. His favorite testicle, which is the left one, reportedly exploded after taking a direct shot from a knee. It had to be removed.
This isn't the first time this has happened in rugby.
No, that's
It happens a
violent
lot.
sport, man.
Mhm.
It happens. And I guess they don't work. Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Man. December's always a crazy month on this show.
Yeah.
If you were listening last week, Lindsay got points for Henry Kissinger dying.
Oh, Jesus H.
man.
Christ.
Because he died on 11/29. She got Rosalind Carter, who died on 11/19. So she was in the lead with 2 points.
Mhm.
Gibby had no points. I only had 1 point because Bob Barker died in August. And just now,
Jaleel White's dead.
No.
Norman Lear has died at 101, who I had. There's now a tie.
Uh-huh.
We've had 3 people die in 2 weeks
Uh-huh.
in our death pool.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Carter's still on host.
Right? Right?
F you, Jimmy.
I'm telling you, he's just got to hang on another 14 days or so.
He's doing it just to piss me
I
off.
know, right?
He's
Or
a
he'll die on
robot.
January 1st.
Oh, right. Right at the stroke of midnight.
Like at
It's like,
12:02 or
right.
something.
Happy New Year.
Hey, listen, at this point, it doesn't matter if he dies. You need 2 to be in the running.
Right. Just to be in the running. Unless Jaleel White overdoses
Unless
on
Jaleel
cocaine,
White, yeah.
then I'm done.
Or
I'm
fentanyl,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
You don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know.
That's what makes it a wild card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So, Lindsay and I are now in a tie. I still have Marv Levy and Dick Cheney, which I feel are solid.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay still has Tippi Hendren.
Yep. From The Birds.
Okay, thank you.
Melanie Griffith's mother.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
And Jim Baker. So, I don't know about Tippi Hendren. I don't know anything about her other than what you tell me every time you mention her name. But Jim Baker.
Meanwhile,
Solid.
go ahead with all the names that I have that are still effing alive.
Yoko Ono.
Uh-huh.
Clint Eastwood.
Uh-huh.
Solid.
Yes.
Jimmy Carter. I don't know. I'm starting to think that is who's the lady with like one arm, one leg? Zsa.
Uh-huh.
Who stayed alive forever. And Jack Nicholson, I don't think is that great of a choice, but and then you're Jaleel White. So
Come on, Urkel.
I don't know.
That
I
would
feel
be
like
amazing.
Jack Nicholson could just keel over with heart attack.
Not compared to the others on the list.
Right, because Jimmy, old, on Host Ice, Clint Eastwood, nobody knows where he's at. He's like 90-something.
He talked to a chair for like an hour 5 years ago or something.
I think he's off filming a film. I think he's directing
Rather
a
than
movie.
filming a-
Yeah, right. Filming a film. I think he's directing a movie somewhere,
Mhm.
to be honest.
I mean, he's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what's in Gibby's 4x4.
Well, Walter says here that federal judge rejects a bid to keep Trump off a ballot in Arizona. The judge said the lawsuit filed by little-known presidential candidate John Anthony Castro was dismissed because Castro lacked standing to bring his claim. The lawsuit was filed earlier this year, arguing Section 3 of the Constitution's 14th Amendment disqualifies Trump because of his actions on January 6th. Judges in other states have also dismissed efforts to ban Trump from the ballot. It says here that the FAA creates a committee to address pilots' mental health challenges. The FAA administrator, Mike Whitaker, said in a statement that the Mental Health and Aviation Medical Clearances Rulemaking Committee, wow, MHAMCRC, Mark, sure, will present recommendations by March of 2024 on ways to get rid of stigmas and barriers pilots face in dealing with mental health issues. The announcement comes after the Transportation Department's Inspector General issued a report this summer on the state of pilots' mental health challenges. They found that pilots tend to be discouraged from reporting their mental health conditions because they fear potential impact on their careers and financial hardships. That makes sense.
Now, just think, if a guy wouldn't have taken a bunch of shrooms and stayed up for 40 hours straight, this never would have become a committee.
Right?
And I'm not kidding.
See, mushrooms doing good for the world. Now, what else we got here? The U.S. announces visa bans after warning Israel on West Bank violence. The bans began yesterday. Followed a number of appeals to Israel to do more to stop the violence by Jewish settlers. Old JB and other senior administration officials have repeatedly warned Israel to stop settlers from committing violence against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. And then lastly here, Divis is asking for gas card donations to help those experiencing domestic violence. They say that the Domestic Violence Intervention Services is asking for gas card donations this holiday season to help those experiencing domestic violence or intimate partner violence. With temperatures getting colder, standing at the bus stop, and if you have a small child, you're leaving a dangerous situation. They say trying to overcome an abusive situation. There's a lot more appointments that you need to get to. Therefore, they need the gas cards, because if you can't get to your appointments, then what good does that do? They say for more information on how you can help, just go to the Divis website.
Major League Baseball's winter meetings were headlined by a shocking draft lottery result yesterday. The Cleveland Guardians leapfrogged 8 teams to earn the top overall pick in July, despite having just a 2% chance at earning the number 1 spot. 8 other teams were ahead of the Guardians, including the Oakland Athletics, the Kansas City Royals, and the Colorado Rockies, who each had an 18.3% chance of getting the top selection. The Cincinnati Reds will draft second, while the Rockies, A's, and Chicago White Sox round out the top 5. The draft takes place in July. In other news, Dodgers manager Dave Roberts said the team has already met with free agent phenom Shohei Ohtani and said the two-way superstar is LA's top priority. Meanwhile, the Chicago White Sox are taking their time on a Dylan Cease trade. General manager Josh Barfield said the team is in a position of leverage and there's no rush to trade the 2022 American League Cy Young runner-up. The meetings wrap up in Nashville on Wednesday. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Great up, and then takes his headset off, starts walking to the back of the plane, apologizes, and jumps the hell out. Now, Chuck, what the pilot did end up landing the plane in a field. Chuck was found in the back of somebody's backyard as a dismembered mess, and the incident is still under investigation.
Yeah. So, did he just go crazy in that moment?
I guess they said that he felt really bad for the hard landing, which I understand.
And the guilt just overtook him to just jump out of the plane?
Yeah, overtook him. Said that he was visibly upset and just said, you know what? F this. I'm out of here. And then there he goes.
Drugs.
Possibly.
Drugs feels like a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better. Falling airplane part barely misses officer at Maine state capitol. So police officer's lucky to be alive after he was standing just a few feet when a 6 to 7 pound steel sleeve smashed into the ground outside the main entrance of the Capitol on Friday. An officer who works as a screener to the building was walking less than 10 feet from where the part fell. The FAA is investigating and says the part is likely from a large airliner on an international route. Or so they'd like you to think.
Is that common for parts of planes to just fall off like that? I've seen other stories where, like, the landing gear fell off and, ended up going through somebody's roof or something. But I feel like that's just every now and again.
This says things fall off aircraft every day. The Navy recorded an average of 460 incidents per year in the 80s. In the commercial world, Boeing received 200 reports of structural parts falling off its planes between 1989 and 1984, so a 5-year period.
Okay, so in the 80s, it seemed different because in the 80s there were a lot of plane crashes. Pan Am being one of the airlines that seemed like they had a bunch of crashes, which I didn't think was right, but I mean, whatever.
I think that the number of plane crashes every year isn't a lot.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but hold on, I'm getting to the 80s. We'll just go 86.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, God. We're at a baker's dozen.
Yeah, but do you know how many flights there are a day?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Thousands.
It's okay. So 13 out of 1,000, but still, man.
In a year.
Okay.
So times that by 365. That's not very many, bro.
I guess. It just seemed like
it's literally the safest way to travel.
Says you. As
not me.
Parts are just
data.
Falling off.
Data. Facts.
How many times you be driving down the road and something just fall off of your car?
Yeah.
It's only happened to me once.
Yeah. And then it's usually later, like, where's that?
Right. I was driving. It was a 1980 280Z. Okay. And rusted floorboards. It was a turd. I paid $700. We pulled it out of a field, right? Well, I'm in Owasso at 86th Street, right there by the highway. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was going eastbound towards like the Reesers or whatever. And I was at the stoplight and I went to take off and the car lifts up, whoop, and then boom, slams on the ground. My entire, the strut tower, the whole shebang just came right off and left me on the ground. I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I got it towed out of there and got it fixed. But I'm just saying, it doesn't happen to cars all the time. Seems like it happens to planes a lot.
What's the strangest type of bird that you'd be willing to eat, such as a shoebill stork? You know what a shoebill stork is, Lindsay?
No.
Look up shoebill stork. Shoebill stork. It will, if I remember correctly, this is a very bizarre looking bird. It almost looks human-like.
Got a giant honking schnoz.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
It will haunt you in your nightmares. And if I remember right, it makes a horrendous sound. A very loud noise. It's not like a beautiful chirping or anything. It's a very loud noise. The shoebill stork. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your pick going to be?
Probably a. What's the one? What are the We call him. My husband calls it a Harry Truman, and that's not what its real name.
Dropping bombs?
Huh?
Is it just dropping bombs everywhere it flies?
It's now I can't even think of the real name of it. You see them a blue herring. that what it is?
Blue herring.
Isn't that a fish?
See them all the time on the.
So it's the ones you see in the ponds, and they got the long legs and
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah.
Piranha.
The heron, yes.
Great blue heron.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
Gimpy?
Can I say big?
Huh?
Big?
Bird.
Big bird. Okay.
Oh,
If we're going like a legit bird,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the flamingo.
Yeah. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see if it tastes like shrimp.
Yeah. Flamingo or
That's
roadrunner.
true.
One of the two.
Yeah. Why not? That sounds fine. Penguin. I'm down for some penguin.
Oh, yeah. Some fricasseed penguin.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it getting, it's cold. It's right there on the ice.
Right.
Who doesn't? Some good penguin. Yum. I'm going to name some dishes. You give me a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome
Okay.
and 0 being pass.
Okay.
Okay. Lindsay, you're in on this too.
okay.
10 being
Let's
awesome,
start.
0
Let's
being
start
nothing.
basic,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
I don't know.
Lindsay.
Oh, 10.
Okay. Gimpy.
3.
Okay. Fettuccine Alfredo. You can
10.
You can say 10.
Could I say 11?
Gimpy?
Oh.
What kind? Is it seafood or is it chicken?
This is just the cheese. This is
Just
no
the
chicken. No.
sauce
Yeah.
and noodles?
Yeah.
0.
Okay. Manicotti. So manicotti, for those who don't know, it's a ricotta. It's mostly the time it's a ricotta-based filled noodle.
Big ol' honking noodle too.
It's a 6 for me.
Okay.
That's a 0 for me, dog.
Okay. Stuffed shells.
6.
Okay. Gimpy.
2.
Wow.
If that. I'm struggling for a 2, bro.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Lasagna.
3.
Wow. Gimpy.
Who's making it?
Whoever your favorites is.
It's even my mom's lasagna. That would like rank like a 2 or 3 for me, and that's because it's mom's. So lasagna, just in general,
Yeah.
that's a 1.
Chicken Parmesan. Chicken Parmigiana.
9.
Never had it.
What?
Crazy.
It feels crazy.
Yeah. So that's going to be a 0 for me, dog.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Chicken. Oh my gosh.
Is it the eggplant and the?
Nope.
That one's good too.
That's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
All right. Chicken piccata. Chicken piccata is the lemon chicken. I know. It's lemon.
Yeah, 7.
That's 0.
Oh my God.
Like we went to that fancy Italian place for the boss that what was that last week, his lunch or whatever. And I'm looking at the menu, I was like,
Mondo's great Italian restaurant.
Mondo's, I respect them and what they do. It's just Italian is not for me. I'm like, I don't know what to get. Everything on the menu had either mushrooms or lemon on it. And I was just like, what's this stuff with the shrimp? Sounds good. I'll eat the shrimp over the noodles, which is exactly what I did.
I mean, I wanted to see. All right, so let's just go with a couple things here because I'm trying to find fried mozzarella.
I mean, that's just deep
10.
fried cheese. But even then, I want to give it like a 4.
Calamari.
10.
Calamari. I'll go ahead and give that like maybe a 6 or something because I've had calamari at other places that's not Italian food.
Bruschetta or bruschetta.
10.
Was that the fancy bread?
It's most of the time it's toasted little pieces of bread with tomatoes and olive oil and balsamic and basil. And
Yes,
stuff.
the extremely stale bread that you chip a tooth on every time you eat it. That's a 0.
Let's see. Let's get it. Spaghetti and meatball ravioli.
Lindsay?
6.
Only if it's Chef Boyardee. Which actually his name was Chef Boyardee, but we had to Americanize
Yeah. Give me your rating, Mr. Wikipedia.
1,
Tortellini.
4.
2.
Peppers and onions.
That's it. Like no sausage to put them on,
It's
or
sausage,
anything?
peppers, and onions. It's typically
But like a
4.
bun, I mean, I guess with the sausage, peppers, and onions, I give it like a 3, 4, maybe even.
fettuccine carbonara.
What's the carbonara part?
Bacon.
Oh.
That's a 5.
What?
1.
Eggplant parmigiana.
Yeah, that's 8.
That's a big 0 for me, homie.
Meatball sub.
Oh, God.
5.
This is getting worse and worse the further we go down. 0, man. That stuff is too messy. It doesn't eat well. You have to have a fork to eat a sandwich. I think that's retarded.
Oh, I liked it. Gnocchi.
What? Huh? Oh, okay. I've had that come in like a Hello Fresh or something like that once. And I was like, what is this? What is this garbage?
Oh, you didn't enjoy it?
Lindsay.
5.
0.
Oh my gosh.
I know it sounds crazy, but like when it comes to like the Big Ten of restaurants and foods and stuff, Italian's at the bottom of that list for me, man.
Somebody texted in and said, you think Zio's is delicious? You got to try Luigi's and Skytook. So authentic. I think it's run by the actual Italian mob. I've had Luigi's and Skytook. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I like, it's not like I go to Zio's and I order one of everything.
Right.
Right. I worked there after college
Mm-hmm.
and their 5-cheese pasta, adding chicken to it was so good.
Yeah.
Their spinach artichoke dip, which isn't Italian, whatever, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm. I just like the brown paper on the tables that give you crayons.
The cannoli, yeah, I know how to write my name upside down. Cannoli, with the Alfredo and the chicken and stuff, so good there.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Italian dish right here on KMOUD as OU takes on Arkansas down at the BOK Center. Now, your pregame starts at 2:30. Tip-off is at 3 in the afternoon, and I just looked. There are still tickets available for the Crimson and Cardinal Classic at BOKCenter.com if you would like to attend.
All right, it's time for fill in the blank news. I will read part of a headline, leave part of it out, and you have to guess what the blank part is. First one, Babe Ruth rookie card sells for blank. Babe Ruth rookie card sells for blank.
I feel like it's going to be like an astronomical amount. Like we're talking like $2 million.
Yeah, that would.
Think. Yeah.
However,
What? It sold for $10?
no,
I don't think
no,
so.
no.
I don't think so. Whoever bought that Babe Ruth rookie card for $10 got a deal.
I feel like it's more like 730,000.
A rare Babe Ruth baseball card has a new owner. A 1914 Baltimore News rookie card featuring the great Bambino fetched $7.2 million in an online auction that ended Sunday for a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That closing price makes the card the most expensive base Babe Ruth item sold in history.
Wow.
It's also the third highest price ever paid for a sports card. The most expensive card remains a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card that sold for $12.6 million last year.
I knew there was a 7 in there somewhere.
Yeah, you were kind of off a little bit. But
Just a skosh.
these type of stories is what makes people go crazy for buying collectible cards.
Right, because they think it's going to be worth something, and not everything is.
No.
$7 million. Damn.
Panera hit with second blank. Panera hit with second blank.
Lawsuit.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Or second round of salmonella poisoning.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
but what?
typhoid.
Typhoid's probably it.
Yeah. I like that. Panera hit with second round of typhoid.
Why would Panera get sued?
Well, I mean, maybe that's false
A second time.
A second
Yeah,
time, yeah.
right.
It's all about the bread bowls is what it is.
Yeah.
A family in Florida is suing Panera Bread over a man's death. The
Oh.
lawsuit alleges 46-year-old Dennis, I'll have a salad, Brown, died from drinking Panera's charged lemonade drink. They filed suit yesterday, almost 2 months after he died of cardiac arrest. The lawyer of the Brown family says the only thing that changed before Brown's death, health-wise, was that he started drinking the charged lemonade 3 weeks before. He had 3 the day he died.
Wow.
And each drink has almost 400 milligrams of caffeine. That's the FDA's suggested daily maximum intake. Panera Bread denies the drink led to Brown's death, and it says it stands firmly to the safety of its products. Brown had just left Panera when he died on the side of the road of cardiac arrest. This is the second time this year that has been alleged that Panera's highly caffeinated drink led to a death.
If that's the second time and the second lawsuit, they should probably pull a drink.
Yeah.
Yes, but also you don't know what they drink before or after.
That is true. We don't
Right?
know if they were pounding Red Bulls and coffee.
And then drink this. Is it
Uh-huh.
is this what led to the death, or this man's poor choice and inability to
Right.
limit himself?
Right.
Yeah.
Combination of the two.
And if they do pull it, then that makes them look guilty. Or they
No, it's just them holding themselves accountable, I think.
Yes. I mean, I hear you, but there is a little bit of an optics thing that they would have to take into account.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it would seem even worse optics if they're like, oh, it's killed some people. Let's keep it on there just to avoid looking guilty.
Right.
Right. That story gets out more and more. I feel more and more people would shy away from Panera and be like, ooh. I mean, I'll eat your broccoli cheddar soup and a bread bowl, but I ain't having no lemonade.
but maybe it should just come with a warning, like, hey, this is
Or just don't drink
400
three.
milligram. Exactly.
Right,
Like,
right.
how many of these have you had today?
I think that if you choose to overindulge, which I would say 3 is,
Mhm.
then
Sure.
I think that's on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It isn't like he had one and keeled over right when he was drinking it. Additionally, Panera has lost its mojo years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I never was a big fan of them, but I went seemed like, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago. I was like, there's a reason why I don't come in here.
When they strayed away from like sandwiches and salad and started having like flatbreads and pastas, I was like, what's happening?
Right.
Mhm.
Bring me my Sierra turkey, my bacon turkey Bravo with the Chipotle mayo. 23andMe lost blank. 23andMe lost blank.
DNA samples.
From a bunch of people, I think.
I mean, that
DNA.
would make sense.
Like actual. That's why I'm afraid to do that, because you don't know. What if they're using Corbin's DNA and passing it off as my own? You know, like you don't
Think
know.
of that scene in Ted 2. You know? They're losing DNA samples. They just scoop it back up. Whatever.
Mhm. They won't know. They won't know.
When DNA company 23andMe was breached, they reported on Friday that only 14,000 users had their ancestry data stolen, as well as a significant number of files about other users. Now, TechCrunch is saying it was much higher. The significant count is actually about 6.9 million users.
Damn.
According to the publication, which is half the client base. 23andMe spokesperson has now confirmed that hackers did steal about 5.5 million, not that 6.9. Who use the DNA relatives feature. Users have already been forced to change their passwords because that's reactionary. But there's no way to protect against if the DNA info stolen is being used.
Interesting.
I think so. Blank, this is a band, this is a band. Blank in new Netflix Christmas film. Blank in new Netflix Christmas film.
Metallica. I don't think Metallica's ever done any kind of Christmas films or albums for that fact. So I mean, and they're huge.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it would make
But
sense.
did it give you the warm and fuzzies?
Does Metallica give you warm and fuzzy? Hell yeah, it does. May not be the caring and sharing kind that you're thinking of, but yeah.
Weezer is getting into the Christmas spirit by appearing in Netflix's new film, Family Switch. The flick is a spin on Freaky Friday starring Jennifer Gardner and Ed Helms. It was released several days ago. Fans are flocking to see the band make a surprise cameo, performing Santa Claus is Coming to Town with Ed Helms' character, Bill Walker. Bill Walker's garage band, Dead or Alive. Ed Helms would be the character from Office.
I believe so, yes. The one from Vacation or whatever.
Yes. Weezer shared a link to the film on social media, writing, "Got to jam with Ed Helms and Family Switch, streaming now on Netflix."
Is that something you brag about? Jamming with Ed Helms?
I guess.
I mean, like Keanu, known to play, even Johnny Depp,
Right.
known to play.
Right.
I never known Ed Helm to play anything.
I mean, there is an episode of The Office where they have a band.
I remember that, yeah. Okay, I guess. I thought that was just a shtick for the show, but whatever.
Lineup for blank rock and roll fantasy camp announced. Lineup for blank rock and roll fantasy camp announced.
Rock and roll fantasy.
Yeah, I think like Kiss has one of those things going on. A rock and roll fantasy camp where you go and you like pay X amount of dollars and you get like, you know, some of the members from Kiss, but like they bring in other musicians to teach you how to play and be the rock star that you've always dreamt of being. But that's the only one I can think of. I can't think of any other bands that have, you know, known to do that.
Metallica.
The latest installment of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, taking place March 14th through 17th, will celebrate some of the biggest bands of the 80s. Members of the bands will be taking part in the camp as counselors. The counselors include Michael Anthony, Sebastian Bach, Warren Dumbartini, and Tommy Aldridge. Oh, and more.
And more. That's my favorite one.
Killers of the Flower Moon, blank today. Killers of the Flower Moon, blank today.
Finally ended?
Release streaming?
Okay, that would make sense. I could see that. I don't know if I still want to watch those 3-hour movie.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it's 3.5, isn't it?
I guess I can pause it
Maybe.
and come back to it tomorrow or something
you
like
could
that.
do that. I
Go
bet
with
it's
streaming.
Yeah, let's go streaming.
Today's the day. Actually, this was yesterday. If you missed Killers of the Flower Moon in theaters, the highly acclaimed drama filmed right here in Oklahoma from Martin Scorsese is available to purchase on digital and on-demand streaming. The film, drawing inspiration from true events starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, take place amid the Reign of Terror, a period that refers to the mysterious murders that took place after major oil deposits were discovered on the Osage Nation's land in the early 20s. Be ready to invest some time. If you plan on watching it, the runtime is eternity.
Yeah, it costs you $20 to watch it on Amazon Prime or YouTube.
Sure.
That's what they say.
I don't know why movies don't start doing this.
I know.
They're only doing it to help the movie theaters.
All right.
Keeping it in the I think you would sell more people would see the movies if you could watch brand new movies at home.
Yep.
But probably, more than likely.
The Late Show remains on pause while Stephen Colbert recovers from blank. The Late Show remains on pause while Stephen Colbert recovers from blank.
I think he had COVID last, right?
No, didn't his appendix?
Oh yeah, he had COVID
week?
and then the appendicitis.
COVID.
And then he's sick again, but probably went back to COVID. You know, that's so fun to
Why
go back
don't they
to.
just have a stand-in for him, like a guest host?
Because nobody's as silly as Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert's health problems are keeping the Late Show on pause. For the second week after his appendix ruptured, the host is benched. Colbert took to Threads and revealed he was listening to my doctors and continuing to rest and heal, and hope to see audiences soon. The show's scheduled guests, Sarah Paulson, Jason Isabel, Mark Ruffalo, Nicki Minaj, Sarah Bareilles, and former U.S. Representative Liz Cheney will have to wait to take their turn on the couch. Earlier this year, Colbert was sidelined with the bid. The show is airing reruns until Colbert returns. Blank, an actor, sees retirement on the horizon. Blank sees retirement on the horizon.
Clint Eastwood. Apparently, he's still out making films.
Huh.
In his 90s. And won't die already.
Robert De Niro?
Okay.
I mean, he's up there.
That makes sense. Al Pacino's too busy taking care of, babies.
Yeah.
To act. So he's like, hey, maybe it's time for me to retire.
Yeah. Okay.
Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage, who veers wildly from cinematic gems to trash movies, has hinted the end of his acting career may be approaching. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Cage says, I may have 3 or 4 movies left in me. I do feel I've said what have had to say with cinema. I think I took film performance as far as I could. I do want to get much more severe and stringent in my selection process. I want to say bye on a high note. One factor in his thinking, his father, who passed away at age 75, Nicolas Cage is closing in on the age of
64.
Ooh, I'm gonna say 59.
60, and says, what do I want to do with those 15 years? Using my father as the model. It occurred very clearly to me that I want to spend time with my family. I'm starting to cement my plan. Better late than never, Nick.
Yeah.
Right. Has he paid off all of his tax debt?
I don't know.
Can he quit working right now?
I don't know.
I watched that movie, the new Flash was yesterday, and he made an appearance in it as the Superman. I was like, is that Nicolas Cage? What the hell? Because they all cross universes and everything. So bizarre seeing Nick Cage as a Superman.
James Harden reveals why he called Daryl Morey a blank.
Who?
James Harden, the NBA player, reveals why he called Daryl Morey a blank.
A doo-doo head.
What did he call him?
Daryl Morey, you just a doo-doo head.
They call him a crybaby, or
Yes, that sounds about right. You know, pussy, something to that effect.
yeah.
Pussy.
Let's go with that.
Yes, James Harden called him a pussy.
Speaking with The Athletic, James Harden finally gave some specifics to why he called out Daryl Morey as a liar. According to Harden, Morey, quote, promised him a max extension. With that, Harden signed a two-year deal worth $47 million following the 2021 season, which amounted to a $15 million pay cut from what would have gotten with a max contract at the time. Assuming a max contract would be 12 months down the road, Amick denies Harden's claim, though Harden says the conversation also happened with his representation, not him. Conversations ended, or so says Harden, after the Boston Celtics bounced the Sixers out of the playoffs last season, leaving Harden feeling essentially ghosted. The NBA investigated to see if a verbal contract had been violated, thereby subjecting the 76ers to disciplining from the league. And that's when Harden says he was lied to by being told he would be traded quickly. What's not clear, though, is why Harden didn't tell the league investigators about this max contract promise at the time. Perhaps fearing the wrath of the NBA PA for admitting he took less than fair market value in his previous deal with the 76ers. Huh?
Right.
You got millions, man.
Yeah.
Millions.
Quit your bitching.
Last one. The most fun blank in America is... The most fun blank in America is...
The most fun city in America?
Sure, why not? State. Amusement park.
Right.
Vagina.
The
Fun
most-
car to drive. Most fun you'll ever have.
I want to say city.
We all have our own idea about what fun is, whether it's parachuting out of an airplane or sampling new cuisine in foreign countries. Having a good time can also be expensive, as the average American spends more than $3,400 a year on entertainment, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Of course, some cities are considered more fun than others, and new research reveals which ones they are, and that's all the article had.
Well, all right.
Clearly did not do a good job on that. So I took for granted that the whole thing was there. Did not read that one. So I'll go with Tuscaloosa.
Sounds great.
All right, we got to take a break and we'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show is
threatened to shoot the bar's security. Well, then Sanchez decided, I'm going to just take off my belt, and started swinging it at the bar owner. He hit him multiple times. A security guard began fighting with the suspect, and the bar owner began fearing for his life. He told deputies that that's when he called 911, and they showed up, arrested him, said he was going to kill everybody. The owner had an injury on his finger from the belt. The guy himself did not have any injuries.
The suspect had some scrapes and bruises on his face in his mugshot, though.
That's a very underrated weapon.
Absolutely
A belt is,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some damage with a belt. Trust me, I know. But to use it in like a street fight is not something you see every day. You hear about guns, knives, crowbars, baseball bats. I appreciate this guy for whipping out his belt.
Yeah, if you're good, like that whole towel whip, that people,
Yeah.
if you can do that with a belt,
You could whip the S out of
Yeah,
somebody. And you don't even have
especially
to
if it's
towel
leather.
whip them with it. You could whip them like a slave.
uh-huh.
Whap! Right across the face. That's going to
Get the
hurt.
buckle.
Oh, well, the buckle's good for handle.
Oh, that's true.
I guess I think of the scene from Indiana Jones
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
when Jones is in the street and the guy is the sword and he goes,
He's all over here.
and he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Right.
So
Well, everybody knows you don't bring a belt to a gunfight. However,
apparently you do.
the owner didn't have a gun.
One of them had a gun, right?
Yeah,
he
the
did.
bad
He
guy had a gun, but
Yeah.
he decided not to use the gun. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to take my belt off and whoop him like a step kid. Quote unquote Christian woman arrested at a splash park. This happens in Ohio, where cops were called out to the Cedar Point Shores Water Park there in Sandusky. All right. They say that a woman that describes herself as a Christian and a grandmother was arrested because witnesses told her that she called a child a brat, a fat ass, and then pushed him off a floating toy.
I mean, brat,
Right.
fat ass.
And then pushes his tubby ass off the floating toy. Get out of here, fatso. Damn. So they show up to this water park because this elderly woman, she's 67, and she's picking on this kid. They talked to the mother. Her name's Jennifer. She told them what was going on. And she fingered the 67-year-old woman. She's over there. The cops go over there and they talk to her. They're like, what's your name? And she says, I am Jennifer Lee Miller. And then she gives them an address, a date of birth, phone number, all the information they're looking for. And she admitted to calling the kid a brat, but she denied swearing at the child and says that she never touched him at all. She says that she's a good Christian woman and a grandmother and would never do such a thing. Anyhow, other witnesses contradicted what Jennifer had to say. And that's when the cops are like, listen, Miss Miller, if we have to come out here again, we're going to arrest you for disorderly conduct. And that's when Jennifer's like, okay, fine, whatever. So the cop leaves. And then I guess something clicked in the cop's brain like, something didn't seem right about this whole situation. So he goes back to the water park. And I guess Jennifer, Ms. Miller, the 67-year-old lady that called the boy a fat ass and a brat and pushed him off the float, she gave him a fake name, a fake address, and a fake phone number. Right. That just went to busy. I guess the cop tried to call the phone number and it's all ding, 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 ding. Sorry, you're busy. Anyhow, so they go back and talk to her about it. And she said that she didn't have an ID and that she felt she was being harassed by the police. She eventually admitted her name was Janet Nail, and they took her in for obstruction.
I love when people use whatever thing to validate their behavior or to invalidate their behavior. Like, I would never do that. I'm a teacher.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a woman.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a family man. I would never do that. I'm a veteran. I would never do that. I'm a Christian. Like, settle.
People are people, man. People
Yes.
do crazy, stupid things.
Those behaviors or those traits hardly make you incapable of doing bad stuff, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. You can still be a good Christian person and be a douchebag.
Yes.
Texas woman attacked by snake and a hawk. There's this gal. She lives just outside of Beaumont. Her name's Peggy Jones. And Peggy's out there mowing her lawn last week on her rider, just minding her own business. And out of nowhere, the snake falls from the sky, lands on her, and then wraps itself around her arm, right?
Ooh.
So here's Peggy mowing her lawn on a hot Texas day with the snake around her arm. She's flailing it all over the place, trying to shake the snake off of her arm. Okay, that sucks. But then out of nowhere comes this hawk. and swoops down on her and starts attacking the snake, trying to get the snake, right? So she says the snake swooped down on her like 4 times. Eventually, it ran off with the snake. It got the snake off of her arm and then flew off with its dinner. There, she said there was blood everywhere. She thought that she had been bitten. Her husband heard the commotion, comes out. Peggy, what the hell's going on? She told him what happened. He takes her to the ER. They treat her for the scratches and the bruises. Come to find out she wasn't bitten, but she did get close because she found some venom on the lens of her glasses.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Peggy's fine. Peggy's fine. She was treated. She went back to the house, and she considers herself to be the luckiest person alive to have survived such an attack. Not the first time Peggy was bitten by a venomous snake, though. She says she was bitten a few years back as well.
But I bet it's the last time she mows the lawn instead of her husband doing it.
Or she doesn't have a husband because he
Right.
died suddenly.
Before the next lawn mowing?
Yeah,
Damn.
right. Crazy things happen.
Right.
Some women like mowing the lawn.
Yeah, I know. I enjoy it too. But man, if that happened to me, I'd be like, this is why you're supposed to be
Oh,
doing
no.
this, not me.
So put me in danger.
Right.
Yes.
She did say that her old man, when they got back to the house, she got back on the tractor, but he stayed close and kept an eye on.
Because what's he gonna do?
Right.
Right.
Dark.
Right. Stop. See something flying, you just bat it out of the way.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Wild brawl breaks out on dock among dozens of people. This happened out in Alabama on Saturday among dozens of people in a manic scene that mirrored a massive WWE fight, and it was all captured on video. Montgomery police have issued 4 active warrants as of Sunday, and more will likely follow as they review videos posted to X. Local NBC affiliates station WSFA reported about 7 p.m. on Saturday, a witness claimed that a group of boaters refused to move their pontoon boat so that the Harriet II riverboat could dock. The account was seemingly backed up by the Montgomery mayor. He said last night the Montgomery Police Department acted swiftly to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing his job. Warrants are being signed and justice will be served. A shirtless man appeared to throw the first punch, running up and punching the dock worker in the face. The worker tosses off his hat as onlookers shout, and the two struggle before two.
D. I have an update for you. I told you yesterday about the squirrel that ate part of my Christmas lights, right?
Yeah, man.
So I went and I found the replacement wire I needed and the splicing plugs, and went home, walked around the house, just make sure. I was like, maybe I should check to make sure there's no other spots.
Yeah.
There were
Oh,
40 feet of Christmas lights destroyed.
Wow. That's
Oh,
a
my
lot,
goodness.
man.
Yeah. Almost the whole front of the house.
Just going down, just nip, nip.
Just right by the socket,
Uh-huh.
chomp, and then on the other side. And then here's the other weird part. I can't find him on the ground. Like I can't find the wire on the ground or in the gutter.
Uh-huh.
So that means he's taken them somewhere.
right.
He's stashing them back his little squirrel pad.
I mean, there's got to be at least 20 foot long pieces of cord
Mhm.
he's putting somewhere.
How awesome would it be if squirrels are way more advanced than we make them out to be, and he's wiring his squirrel home to have lighting inside?
You watch too much of the Littles, but I understand the point you're making.
We don't know. How often do you go back to Squirrel House to see how they be living?
I got to be honest, I've never been in a squirrel house.
Exactly.
Or maybe birds are picking up the wires and using them for a nest in a tree somewhere.
Maybe a bear's coming to get it.
I like
We
the
could-
idea of a squirrel just, living in this giant, lavish squirrel mansion, and it's got indoor plumbing, and lights and
Yeah.
heater and all that. Yeah.
So now I have to go buy all the replacement wire because I could have the guy do it that hangs the lights, but I got to pay him more
Yeah.
Right.
to do that because it's not his fault.
Hmm.
And I don't want to pay him more.
Hmm.
So now I got to go buy the lights
Yeah.
and then take each light bulb out and restring the lights.
That sounds horrendous.
And I got to do it today because the next like few days are going to be, the musical Oklahoma.
Yeah. Have fun with that one.
And my wife, and I can't put it off because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
We paid to have them So now I'm even more mad at this squirrel who I'm going to kill. And so I bought some mothballs and kind of put them up in the gutter, right? So I put them up in the gutter or whatever, right? And then I get inside and I can still smell the mothballs. Well, it's on my shirt and I was wearing my KMOD hoodie. And I was like, oh, damn it. So I go to wash it. That don't come out.
No.
Oh.
Now you smell like musky mothballs.
Yeah.
So that's ruined.
But hey, it'll keep the moths and squirrels out of
Sure.
your-
And
out of your
everyone
closet.
else away.
Right.
Who's going to want to sit next? Who's going to want to sit next to me? Me and my kids are like, God damn, Dad.
Who let people in here?
Yeah.
Because only old people smell like
Yeah.
mothballs.
And so then I found another spot that I need to, like the connecting wire needs to be repaired, which I had. So I went ahead and repaired that. And as I did, because I had turned the lights on to make sure they were all like how far the damage was.
Right.
And I'm connecting the wire and I forget that it's on.
Yes.
And I got my balls tickled.
Oh, no.
Because if anybody knows, do you feel it? You absolutely feel it.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Does it hurt? Hardly.
No. Some people are actually into that sort of thing.
Weird. What
Electric
do you
play.
mean that by saying that?
The electric play. Like they'll take tasers and other ways to electrocute yourself and put it on your genitalia. Give it a good old zapping.
No.
Like they
Right.
enjoyed it they enjoy the electrical current on their jennies,
Yeah.
or they like applying the electrical current to other people's jennies.
I'm gonna go with both of them. The video I seen show this lady take a taser. She's listening to some old R&B or whatever, get down, and then she lays down. She got I don't know, cocktail of some sorts, Hennessy or whatever, I don't know. And she lay down on the bed, and then spread eagle, bow bow, takes the taser like you would get at the flea market.
Yeah.
Bam!
Like clearly it was more than a wall.
Yes. See
Yeah.
if I can't find the video and show it to you real quick.
Lindsay, I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. Have you ever done that, Gimpy?
No, I have not.
I feel like I have to ask.
No,
Right.
I have been known to jam. And now it's been a long time since I've done this. Mostly.
Say no more. Say
Yeah.
no more. I think you've said enough when you almost said the word jam.
Right. Well, when I was a kid, when I was a young warthog, I would take a knife or a fork, mostly a butter knife, and jam it in the toaster and shock myself that way. Never in the electrical socket on the wall or anything like that, but just always a toaster. It gives you that little zzz. Yeah.
And then I saw a neighbor and I wanted to be like, hey, neighbor, be on the lookout. We got a crazy squirrel. And then I realized I haven't seen any other houses where this is happening.
Uh-huh.
So why is my house being
Targeted.
singled out? What is it about my house the squirrel finds so delicious?
You got that good wire, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got that Lululemon wire.
Right. Down the way, man. They got that cheap ass
Look
wire.
at that Ross wire.
Yeah, it'll get the job done or whatever for sure. But I sent you guys the video, by the way. But you got the good stuff.
Oh, this is on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, she got her clothes on. She ain't naked. But she showed enough. Woo. Right on it. No, thank you.
I think the squirrel just knew that you paid someone to put up your Christmas lights.
I'm not buying that.
You don't think this is real?
Nope.
Why not?
Because she's using a taser,
Mm-hmm.
not a sexual device.
Right, exactly.
And I've seen that taser put people on their ass.
Right. Well,
And she is not
she.
like she's acting convulsing.
I mean, you could see the electric shock
Totally.
on the panties and then just roll right off the bed she goes. So I don't think it's fake. And I say that because I know there's people out there that are into some weird stuff.
100%, man.
You know?
100%.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that's a real thing that people like. Now, she could be the unicorn. She could be the only one in the world that likes to shock her JJ with the taser.
Here's the other like red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Comments are turned off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Possible. I don't know.
But it's a funny video.
Yeah, it is. And that's a whole lot of nope for me.
Yeah.
I'm into weird stuff, but I ain't that weird.
I'm out on electricity.
Right.
Though I got shocked trying to fix these lights yesterday, I didn't go, that was awesome.
Let me stick my balls up there.
That sounds like a good time. If I had my choice to watch TikTok videos or get shocked, I'm picking TikTok videos.
Yeah, right.
Every time.
Texter, anything over 50 volts AC is deadly, but you can handle more volts in DC.
Okay.
No thanks.
I'm okay not knowing that. I'm okay not having had to research that.
Another text, squirrels on meth scrapping copper for a fix.
Totally. Someone said text in to get a squirrel launcher. I'm in.
A squirrel launcher? What is that?
It's where the squirrel gets in it and then it catapults them across like the yard.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm in for that. But I'm also, I have a camera that I'm not using for my house and it's rechargeable and it has infrared. I'm going to put it in my attic in case it's in my attic.
Seeing that they're living up there.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. I'm going to go up there today with my high-powered flashlight to see if I see anything, but I'm also going to put that camera up there to see if it catches anything.
Yeah.
What redneck come up with this squirrel? Hey, I got an idea. Give me some 2x4s, some rubber bands, and a spaghetti colander.
And a pail.
Right. That is awesome, though.
It is awesome. All right, we got to take a break and we'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show.
Management for the past 10 years. And 3 years ago, she had a stop at a pretty big school district. And inside the district, they had found some big boxes in the trash. And it was full of computer equipment. And she was a huge techie. And apparently, in 3 of those huge boxes were vintage mechanical keyboards worth about $100 a piece. And she helped her with selling all of them. And they made $10,000 on reselling these vintage mechanical keyboards. That's something that we could get into, or I could.
I'm not going to the garbage.
I'm not going to take the time to resell how many? 10,000 keyboards?
Yeah, they got to drop them off at the post office.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got the time, it's worth the money. Former garbage man here used toilet paper all the time. Nothing worse than having a bag break and spew out mounds of used toilet paper like some type of unrighteous piñata.
This is a positive?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It seems to be awfully common. You would find something like that in the trash.
Absolutely.
It's the trash.
Yeah, not everybody flushes their waste down the toilet, the paper.
He said, honestly, though, the most disgusting thing he ever saw working as a garbage man was a coworker who regularly ate and drank things that they found in the trash.
But
Yes. One man said, my dad did the recycling run. In the rich parts of town, people would throw away brand new, still in boxes, like wine glasses, shoes, and things like that. We would resell the stuff online and make a few $100 a month. That's pretty cool.
Throwing away brand new shoes.
Maybe they were the wrong size, and I
Throwing
don't have the time to return these. Trash them.
Sure.
I don't know. Not
they got
something
some-
I would ever do.
they were a gift, and maybe somebody's got some beef against that brand or whatever. Like, these Adidas are trash.
Or they only wore them a few times and they took really good care of them and they still looked new. Ashes of the deceased. One time we found someone's ashes in one of the standard plastic tubs funeral homes usually give out. His information was still on the side. Our management contacted his family using the information that was written on the side of the plastic tub, but the family said they threw the poor man out on purpose.
This text says an old coworker found a vintage collection at Playboy magazines, had him appraised, and was told it was worth about $20,000. That's something worth keeping.
Who would you go to for that?
You take it to the Antique Roadshow.
I'm just saying, like, who do you go to to appraise Playboy magazines.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they're slightly used, does that depreciate their value?
I would think.
Mhm.
Like, this is great, but pages 39 and 40 are stuck together. So,
And also, if you find a Chiefs shirt and bring it to me, I'm going to be psyched and tell you how awesome its worth
right.
is.
Mhm.
I just, to me, that is the, when people are like, oh, these magazines are going to be worth so much money. Okay. I just don't buy into that.
Right.
If they're in mint
right.
condition.
So what? Again, so what? Who
Mhm.
cares?
You got to find somebody who's going to pay that kind of price, whatever.
Exactly.
Drew carried all.
We see people on that stupid show, Pawn Stars,
Mhm.
and they bring in super rare things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even they're like, it's not worth that much. So I don't know why a bunch of magazines would be worth $20,000. I think some of these stories get so over glamorized
Right.
to make them sound sexy.
Mm-hmm. One junk removal company found weapons. We took out some old furniture, including a large desk from a man's house. We were finished and drove to the transfer station. As we dumped our load, the desk came sliding out and hit the concrete. It broke apart, and lo and behold, a .357 Magnum revolver comes tumbling out.
I'm surprised by these dumpsters that take on full pieces of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a junk removal company. So
it's probably like cleaned out
okay.
house or
Yeah.
whatever
Okay.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that works for local trash company, and he finds weapons all the time. He's found knives and guns and stuff. And yeah, that doesn't surprise me any.
Does he have to alert the authorities if it's a gun?
You know that? I don't know. I didn't ask. You think that would be something to ask, but I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
in case
that's
it's
cool.
stolen or
Yeah,
part of
that
a
would-
crime.
That would make sense, yeah.
Kelly Sarber, the president and CEO of Strategic Management Group.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Little Yellowstone news and a prediction from me.
Okay.
Ryan Bingham and the girl that he has a love interest in the movie or in the show, apparently they got married, or people are saying they did, that they're together. So good for him. And then the creator of Yellowstone has sued one of the stars, Cole Hauser.
Wow, Rip,
Rip. Yeah, a lot of people don't know his name's Cole Hauser. Everybody's like, you mean Rip?
Yeah.
Apparently, Rip decided to make some coffee using B&R Coffee, which is the name of a ranch that Taylor Sheridan owns, where they filmed 1883 and some other things. And so now they're suing. So here's my prediction. That show ain't coming back.
You don't think so?
How do you come back to a show where your boss sued you?
The show could come back. Maybe not so much him.
It can't come back without Rip.
Mm.
No.
It'll be a shell of itself.
Yeah. I mean,
so no Kevin Costner, no Rip.
Right. It's on the way out anyway.
Yeah, but maybe they come back for the obligation, but I don't see it coming back and being worth watching.
Right.
Not what it was.
I don't want to see Beth every episode. I get it. But come on.
Yeah. As long as you get to see your boobs again, it'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna.
Yeah.
Those things always retract.
Our boobs?
No, like the first, like they show, and then,
Right.
Think about Game of Thrones in the beginning.
Right. It was nothing but boobs, and now it's not so much.
Yeah, then there was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Balls to the wall and balls to the wall.
Women's featherweight world champion boxer Amanda Serrano has taken the bold step of relinquishing her WBC title. The decision comes after the WBC decided that she couldn't fight in bouts under the same sets of rules as men's boxing. Serrano wanted to be able to fight a full set of 12 3-minute rounds like the guys, but the WBC limits the ladies to 10 rounds at 2 minutes each. The 35-year-old boxer had unified the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, IBO, and Ring Magazine titles, and had launched a campaign in October with other female boxers to have the choice to fight under the same rules as the men.
Yeah. I think if she wants to fight other women, but under those stipulations.
Uh-huh. Why does she do a lot of other women want to do the same? I mean, does she feel like she wants to do it just because she knows she can outlast other women in 12 rounds?
Maybe, but shouldn't they be the same? I mean, shouldn't it be the
Sure.
same amount of time? I don't know why
I
it's
mean,
less.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what she wants, if others want it,
I think she's just
then
trying to make
sure.
a change.
Yeah. The NCAA is looking, speaking of change, for ways to let their Division I schools pay their athletes. The NCAA president, Charlie Baker, proposed rule changes yesterday that would allow D1 schools to enter into name, image, and likeness deals directly with their athletes. The proposed rules would also create a new subdivision of Division I schools that would be allowed to create its own set of rules for recruiting, transfers, roster size, and a wide range of other policies. The policy would change the NCAA's business model that prevented schools from providing any non-academic based compensation to athletes. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has found a way to stick his nose into college football for the snubbed Florida State Seminoles. After FSU is left out of the CFP mix, DeSantis vowed to put aside $1 million and let the chips fall where they may. That money will reportedly go towards any litigation that may come as a result of this really, really poor decision by the college football playoff decision makers. Then there's this conspiracy theory floated by Dan Patrick. He theorized that maybe the committee made their decision in no small part due to the Michigan sign stealing controversy, and pitting them against Alabama would be another form of punishment, as they, on paper, would be a tougher CFP matchup for the Wolverines to contend with.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
And no, there's nothing to back that up, mind you, and that's what makes it a great conspiracy theory.
No, it's just a guess.
Yeah.
They don't hand out punishments.
Right. Titans coach Mike Vrabel announced this week that the team has fired special teams coach Craig Aukerman. Vrabel named special teams assistant Tom Quinn as Aukerman's replacement. I felt like this was the best thing for the team, Vrabel said. I'm excited about the possibility of Tom Quinn leading that group. He brings a lot of experience and knowledge, and he's a great teacher. The decision came after the Titans' 31-28 overtime loss to the Colts on Sunday. The Colts returned a blocked punt for a touchdown, and punter Ryan Stonehouse fumbled on a second punt attempt and injured his knee. Vrabel announced that Stonehouse's injury will require season-ending surgery. Quinn is in his first season with the Titans in 2023. The 32-year-old veteran coach was with the New York Giants from 2006 to 2021. He was the special teams coordinator from 2007 to 2017 and served as the assistant special teams coach from 2018 to 2021. Aukerman was in his 7th season with the Titans and 6th as the special teams coordinator. And the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever you call it, there's one person that's not a fan. The NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, wants the play to be banned permanently in the NFL. But even though he's the top dog, he doesn't get the final say. Banning the play would take a vote by the competition committee, and then the rule change would need the approval of at least 24 of the 32 league owners. While the Eagles aren't represented on the 8-member competition committee, it's a safe bet they would vote against the change. According to The Athletic, Philadelphia has had a 93.5% success rate running the play.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because, yes, it's quite successful. Yes, it's quite frustrating to see it get played, but they figured it out.
Right. And if it works, it works.
And why should they? I need to hear why, because it's hard to stop. That should be the reason to not do it.
It's not fair.
Right.
It's not fair.
I mean, any play in the beginning is not fair. The two here's what I want to see. Does it work with another team? Right? Or is it because of Jason Kelsey and because of Jalen Hurts?
Right.
Now, we saw it played with the backup when Hurts left, and it worked with the Mariota. It didn't work as well.
Right, but it still worked. I mean, a lot of that relies on your line.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if it works, it works.
That'd be like, to me, that would be like outlawing a post route run from Tyreek Hill.
Right.
Because Tyreek Hill's really good at it.
Just trying to level the playing field. Get in here.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, if it helps my cheese, then yeah.
Right? And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay at 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite.
The point, right?
Yeah.
Is that it would have to be something you're a diehard for.
Yeah.
Right. Mine be like cannabis themed or something like that. PlayStation.
Barbie Mania continues to sweep the world. One funeral home in El Salvador has boarded the Barbie bandwagon in a big way. The Alpha and Omega Funeral Home in Achapan is offering a pink Barbie-themed coffin for people who want to take their obsession with pop culture sensation to the afterlife. Each of the metal caskets is decorated with stars and features lining imprinted with pictures of Barbie. One of the spokespeople says, we have to jump on this trend, adding he's already sold 10 of the coffins. It's been a success. The coffin is the latest bizarre Barbie merchandise to be released in Latin America, which has also seen products such as Barbie lunchboxes, pink tacos and pastries, and even Barbie-themed airplanes. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank.
Drive. Right. That's every state. Can't honk their horn. Okay. Yeah, noise ordinance. Can't get out of your car with a can of spray paint and spray paint the person behind you.
Can't pass other drivers. Can't use the express lane.
Okay. All those sound like good ideas.
New Jersey is the only state in the U.S. where drivers can't pump their own gas.
Huh.
It comes as lawmakers in Oregon voted to end the ban on self-serve gas, and Governor Tina Kotek signed off on it, ending the state's 72-year ban. Gas stations across New Jersey have pushed for lawmakers to lift the ban, which has been in effect since 1949. They say self-serve gas would allow them to lower the price.
Absolutely, yeah. I wonder why that's crazy. That's crazy. I thought, those days of somebody else having gas station attendants were pretty well over.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in forever.
There's one here in town.
Is there?
Yeah, Reed's over.
Reader's over there off 15. Okay. But it costs you extra. And
of course it does.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Blank are coming to Jeopardy. Blank are coming to Jeopardy. Nerds. In there.
Right. Average people. There you go. The bottom of the class is coming to Jeopardy.
Right. Reruns.
I could see that. Like on a game show network or something. Playing the old episodes of the Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 80s and stuff like that. So we still get our taste of Alex Trebek and that wonderful stash.
The fro, man.
Oh, yeah.
When the new season of Jeopardy premieres, there'll be some changes as the writer strike continues. During an interview on the Inside Jeopardy podcast, that's a thing. Executive producer Michael Davies revealed that the show will use a combination of material from our WGA writers wrote before the strike, which is still in the database, and redeployed material from multiple seasons of the show. The new season will also have a second chance tournament showcasing players from the 2020-2021 season. Look for new episodes of Jeopardy to premiere in September.
Okay.
This strike is causing a lot of problems. I didn't know the writers wrote the stuff for game shows.
I didn't either, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Somebody's got to write it.
Yeah. So what are they going to do? That's why CBS is going to have Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Survivor, Amazing Race, and Big Brother on all at the same time.
Right, because those don't require writers.
Yes. Or actors.
Right.
So they will have them. That's never happened before. And we watch all three of those. And they're on so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're going to keep up. That's a wife problem. Which makes it my problem. Almost half of Americans aren't eating enough blank. Almost half of Americans aren't eating enough blank.
Fruits and vegetables.
Green vegetables.
Red meat.
Oh, I think we are.
Pastries. Americans aren't eating enough pizza.
It's a movement I can get behind.
Right.
Italian pasta.
Let's see. Americans aren't eating enough tapioca
Okra.
No one would ever say that.
pudding.
Americans say they love apples, oranges, and bananas, but 43% admit it to not eating enough fruit even once a day. According to a new survey, it found that 52% confess to not eating veggies on the reg. To get the nutrients they need, they may be missing. 51% drink at least one smoothie a week.
Wow.
How often do you eat vegetables, Lindsay?
Vegetables daily.
Okay, say more.
With dinner every day. It's
You every day you have vegetables with dinner.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like a portion of vegetables, not like, hey, the pasta has tomatoes in it.
No, we have a portion of either something. It's either a green bean, it's either Brussels sprouts, asparagus. Those are the three staples in our house.
Gimpy?
Yeah, same thing every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every day it's a protein, a meat of sorts. Okay. And then usually taters of some kinds, be it mashed potatoes or, scallop potatoes, something to that effect. So meat, protein, carb, and then a vegetable every day. That's the three things on my plate. I have recently, went to the store the other day. I was like, you know what? I haven't had fruit in a damn coon's age. So I went to town, got a bag of grapes and some watermelons and, other stuff like that.
I eat fruit every day.
Mhm.
But as far as vegetables, if it's in the Hello Fresh, yes.
Right.
But not, and maybe if we're grilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I make it a point every time I get groceries to get like 4 or 5 things of frozen vegetables, whatever. Yeah.
You said mashed potatoes, and I just don't count those as vegetables.
No, they're not. Raw potatoes or whatever, like a baked
Starch.
potato would be all right. But
I mean, if you're going to count a baked potato, you should be able to count mashed potatoes, and you should be able to count French fries.
okay.
Right? Because it's all potatoes.
Right. It just depends on how it's cooked or whatever. Yeah.
If you eat fried green beans,
Mm-hmm.
you eating green beans?
Technically, but it's deep fried.
If I have fried
Delicious.
mushrooms, that's not the question, isn't how they're made. If you have fried mushrooms, are you eating vegetables every day?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you're still getting the vegetable that's inside that breaded goodness.
Yeah, but you're getting
Again,
extra
it's not
calories. I
yes, but if
guess.
you have broccoli and cheddar, you don't discount that you
Right.
didn't eat broccoli.
Right.
True.
So yeah,
Cover it in cheese sauce.
Mhm.
Hardly good for you.
It's delicious though.
True.
Last one. The age blank stopped being fun. The age blank stopped being fun.
Age blank. The age of 69. Giggity.
Huh. The age staying up late stop being fun.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but okay.
I don't know.
The age gap.
Drinking too much or excessive
Aged
partying.
cheese. Aged wine. Think of other things that are aged.
The age when blank stopped being fun. According to a question online, at what age did life stop being fun? Thousands of people have responded so far, and a lot of the answers are upbeat, with many saying they haven't reached that age yet. Some folks also say life didn't get full. Lindsay, what's the age when life stopped being fun?
It hasn't stopped. I think it gets better.
Gimpy?
No, it does. It changes, it shifts, but it never stops being fun. It only stops being fun if you let it stop being fun. Like those people that say, it's never been fun. I was born and I've been miserable ever since. It's those people, right? So I'm with Lindsay. I don't think it ever stops.
For me, it's getting more fun as I get older. But there's a scene in the new season of Reservation Dogs, and in it, the aunt is talking to one of the kids who had run away to California and came back. And in the scene, she talks to the kid about like, hey, you're expecting this other shoe to drop that you get older and things just suddenly change. She's like, that never happens. You're still the same person you were at 4. I'm still the same person I was at 12. The difference between those times is I just have a ton more baggage.
Right.
And that baggage weighs you down. And I was like, damn, that's truth. I've got the longest running game shows in television history.
Fun.
You want to guess one?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's on here.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
what brought
Price
us.
is Right.
Price is Right, of course.
Okay. So those are the 3 basics. What about Press Your Luck?
No.
Yeah.
So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Really?
22 years. Password, 23 years.
The Pyramid?
What's My Line? 24 years. Pyramid, 25 years. Let's Make a Deal, 35 years.
Wow.
Now, does that count? Because it wasn't 35 years consecutive. It was
Right.
It was the Monty guy for a while, and then they brought it back with Wayne Brady. So I guess mash them together it works.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be consecutive, like Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy. Those are all consecutive years.
Yeah, I think if you work at KMOD and then take a break and come back, you get X number of years,
Okay.
right?
Alrighty then.
Ooh.
Family Feud, 40 years.
Okay.
I was gonna-
Wheel of Fortune, 48 years. Jeopardy, 54 years. This show I've never heard of because it's in another country. Des Chiffres et de Lettres.
Sure, easy for
Numbers and Letters, 56 years. It's still on today. Price is Right, 60 years.
So that's the longest. Price is Right.
Price is Right, yeah,
Wow.
is the longest one. Or is it going to be a thing that comes out like it did with Bob Barker that he had to kind of step away because
He old.
Mhm.
he like a miscusi.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. Happy 24th birthday to porn star Martina Smeraldi. You can watch this spicy Italian in lust wrapped in lingerie, snack and sex, Christmas kindness, and new study buddies. She was a 2021 Best New Foreign Starlet nominee.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning, Corbin. Don't forget to be listening for your cue to text and win your way to LA for the 2024 iHeartRadio Alter Ego concert. It happens at 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. You got two chances, so make sure you're listening.
All right, time for our top 5 songs. We do it every week at this time. Fortune, it's spin a wheel, earn points.
It's
Now,
the
how
same
they
game.
derive the letters and things like that, or on Jeopardy, can obviously change. But overall, it's the same game.
Yeah. There's no need to change it.
Tic-tac-toe, celebrity tip, whatever, doesn't last because you get annoyed. You get annoyed with just because you're famous doesn't mean you're awesome.
Yeah. Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And some of these other shows, that's why I like Pyramid and like it runs its exhaustion level. That's why they don't do just Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. You want to see people that are like, quote unquote, you win.
Right. It gives you hope
Absolutely.
and a chance that you could be on that show someday and you could win that money.
The number of people that are like to know someone to be on Wheel of Fortune is rare. Think about all the times they come through and recruit people. And then how many people from here actually get on the show? Not very many, if you think about it. So where do those people come from? Well, they recruit people. Some are up and coming actors. Like they tried because they have to fill it. Lindsay's tried to be on game shows before. One of the hardest parts about being on a game show is that you have to fly out on your own, put yourself up, and you might get on the show.
Right. They don't pay for you to be out there until you finally make the final cut.
And when you're on the show, you might just get the minimum, which is like $1,000 now or something like that, which you're like, that's a lot. It is a lot. Not after hotel and airfare and expenses.
In California.
In anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to any hotel, you're not gonna, even if you're gonna stay at the Comfort Inn.
Right.
And if you are, it's still $200. You're there a week. That's $1,000. It doesn't matter where it's at. You ain't staying at the Sunnyside Inn with the satellite dish painted yellow.
Right. With all the crackheads and whores.
Well, I mean, you can get that anywhere, any hotel, right? I saw this story circulating today about TikTok doctors warning the number one position for penile fractures. Number one, 50. I want to make sure I get that. I would hate to fumble this. It's the most dangerous sex position, according to science, cause of 50% of penile fractures. 50.
That's a lot.
So of all the penile fractures that happen, half are because of this sex position. What do you think, Lindsay?
Doggy style.
Okay, Gimpy?
I am going to say it is the reversed cowgirl,
It is the reverse cowgirl.
which is my favorite by far.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them
Mhm.
are good.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even plain old vanilla is good.
Yeah. Yeah. The line of great is pretty thin from a guy's standpoint.
Right. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because they're not looking and paying attention. But are you really looking and paying attention even if you're facing forward? You know what I mean?
There's obviously no bones inside a penis. So it's a tear in the frenulum or the tunica albuginea.
Sure.
This is a rubbery sheath of tissue that allows for the penis to do what it does best. And that there is this new resurgence because of the doctor saying this on TikTok that people are like, oh, okay.
So they're seeing more broken boners now because of the TikTok?
No.
Okay.
The story of this being the number one sex position for a broken wee-wee.
Okay.
I've never had a fractured penis.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what that would be like.
It's not fun. I mean, it didn't break or anything.
You've had a fractured penis?
I don't want to say fractured, but things didn't work out the way that it had, and it should have zigged when I should have zagged. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you're saying this. I was
Mhm.
hoping you would say this.
Yeah.
How would you know you have a fractured penis? You would have to go to a doctor to know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm just making an assumption here that Gimpy did not go to the doctor in regards to his penis situation.
No.
So it's a self-determined diagnosis.
Yeah, when you break an arm or a leg, when I slipped on the smallest patch of ice in the parking lot, there was an audible pop that happened.
Mhm.
And that's how I knew that I'd broken my leg.
Mhm.
When I broke my tooth on vacation, there was an audible pop
Yeah.
that allowed me to know that I broke my tooth, and the tooth, fell on the floor or whatever. So when that happened, there was an audible pop that led me to believe that, like, oh yeah, this is definitely it. Like I said, it wasn't broken or anything because there is no bone to break. It's just it hurt. It hurt, and it was out of commission for a couple of weeks, and that sucked.
Sure.
But you're right. I didn't go to the doctor and be like, doctor, I think I broke my Peter.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that break bones
Mm-hmm.
and don't know they've broken a bone.
Right.
There are players, football players that run on broken legs and don't know that they're broken until later.
Okay, so to me, broken and fractured are two totally different things. Like a hairline fracture, a small fracture, you can still perform with a fracture. But like when I broke my leg, it was broke, floppy doppy.
Yeah.
There's no way I could stand on it. You know
Penile fracture is this term.
Yeah.
But people say the same thing.
Yeah, say it's
fracture and broken, kind of, unless you're a medical doctor using it looks like you have a fracture or you have a broken arm.
Right. So with
Because
that,
Dr. Stuck serious, that's why this voice works.
So when it comes to the penile fracture, I just said, most people can work through a fracture, a hairline fracture. There's no working through that one. That's just too sensitive of an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how does it get fixed? You just ice it?
Just time.
Yeah. Like a lot of breaks. Like if you broke your foot, you just don't do it. You just have to be careful.
Yeah,
You still have to walk.
on it.
The cast. Oof.
Right.
Not something I'm signing up for.
Right.
And having it removed. Pass. Hard pass.
Right, where they break out
Soft
that
pass.
saw. Yeah. It won't cut you. You're not taking a chance there, Doc. Teen arrested for setting hotel fire after fighting with mom. This also comes out of Florida. I'll call it Florida, where I guess a 16-year-old girl got in a fight with her mom at like 3:30 in the morning. And then goes down into the lobby and sets a sofa on fire. So the police and the ambulance and the fire trucks, everybody comes out, all these emergency crews or whatever. All 320 residents of the hotel, all the guests were evacuated at 3:30 in the morning.
The witching hour.
So the firefighters came in and they're battling through the smoke-filled lobby, and they find the fire, the source of it. The couch is on fire. They put it out with their little water can. They say that the damages cost a couple of $100,000 to this couch, and the wall that was behind it totally scorched, burnt up. Pictures are on our Facebook page. They ended up arresting the girl. They didn't say what the girl and the mom were fighting over, and they didn't say what led to, her wanting to set the couch on fire. My guess is probably just angry teen and probably had some alcohol involved in there somewhere. That's just my theories on it. Nonetheless, they went ahead and arrested her for arson, and the investigation continues.
So many things on this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let you get your luggage. Like, you went out of the hotel, and then they're like, you can't go back in.
Right.
So you got to go find a place without your stuff.
Right.
Wallet probably.
Right.
Credit cards probably.
Maybe your phone.
And so all you're in is your skirt, your tidy whities or whatever.
So you're talking about the 320 guests that were evacuated. They did let them all go back in. All the guests were allowed to go back into their room and go back to sleep after it was all said and done.
I'm shocked by that because the sprinkler system has gone off, and it flooded the floor.
The lobby area, though. Just the first floor and that lobby area. Anybody
still feels like danger, Will Robinson.
9. Oh, I totally get you. Smoke damage, smoke inhalation, whatever. I was surprised that they let them all go back in as well, but that's what they said.
Dude, I was unaware that sprinkler systems in a building go off by floor.
Yeah, I thought it was all automatic
at one time.
everywhere.
Yeah. Maybe this is a different one, but the story did say that they let all 320 guests or everybody that was evacuated go back to their room later on that morning, probably about 5:30 or so. Still, 3:30 in the morning, you woke up, you're probably on vacation.
Sure.
You gotta evacuate everybody, go meet in the parking lot over there by the fourth
Bob Evans
street light.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then you're waiting there for hours. After they get everything cleaned up,
smoke fills the whole place.
Oh yeah. And they're like, you can go back. I'd probably be like, okay, I'm gonna go get my stuff, and I'm gonna check out and go find another place, and then we'll deal with reimbursement after this.
All right. Then the other thing I was thinking about, your kid does this. What do you do?
What's the punishment?
Right. We'll deal with this when we get home.
How old was the girl?
16.
Yeah, like, what do you do?
You're grounded. Grounded.
No
for
screens.
Arson.
Yeah.
Right. She's 16 and went to jail for arson. So chances are this parent or the parents are going to be like, well, she went to jail and she's being charged, and they're probably going to take out the couple $100,000 worth of damage out of her
allowance. That's a whole, right?
Right.
It feels too late. Like, she's
so give up.
already,
Okay. Give up on your kid. Okay.
No. And I'm not saying that.
You're a lost cause. I tried.
Yeah, that's what you said.
years.
It's too late.
Why don't you go live on the streets with the rest of the crackheads?
No, but I mean, like, it's too late to be like, you're grounded for, you know what I mean? Like,
well, typically punishments come after the infraction.
Sure, but she's in jail.
It'd be weird to ground your kid like you're a precog or something for something that hasn't happened yet.
She's in jail.
I don't know what you did yet, but you're grounded. I know you're going to do something. You're grounded.
I hope jail kind of wakes her up a bit.
Well, she's not going to jail.
She did. They arrested her.
But she went to juvie.
Right.
Okay.
And she probably may not spend a whole lot of time
which
in
is an education system.
Right.
I mean, there's probably going to be big time fine. She's going to have to go to court.
Her parents will pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will not be paying. That's what I'm saying. Like, she is going to be released probably to their
she'll be paying
supervision.
It back. If she's my kid.
No, she won't be paying back.
If she's my kid, she is.
No.
She's going to be working it off. Hard labor.
For 40 years?
Busting rocks in the backyard.
This isn't you bought her an iPhone.
Right.
This is, as Gimpy said, if not 2 commas, it is definitely 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
She would be paying back forever.
Mm-hmm.
You owe me every paycheck for the rest of your life.
Well, that makes no sense either.
When you retire, I want your retirement. I want your 401k.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Like, it just creates all these questions.
There's only 2 ways that you can pass a whiz quiz without using some kind of illegal substance. And that is one.
Broccoli?
No.
Oh.
Just naturally stopping. Okay. And cleaning yourself out.
Surefire,
that way.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's like, abstinence is the only way to guarantee not getting pregnant. Nonetheless, the other way, which is only good for like an hour or two, maybe a day, is a flush. And that's just to drink a buttload of water, because when you do that, you're not urinating anything for your test, but just straight water.
Well, that's why when you buy those pee cleans, they're like, drink a ton of water,
Gee, I wonder
because
why.
it isn't that. It's the flushing. Have you ever taken a marijuana drug test,
Yeah.
Lindsay?
Yeah. And I passed.
Okay, what's the story?
I
Like
just for a background check for a job, but I
in
don't.
radio?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The first radio station I ever worked at in South Dakota.
Huh.
Yeah. But at the time, I mean, I was 20 years old, so I wasn't really into pot so much, so it wasn't a big deal.
I didn't do the marijuana at the time.
And also, yes, I had to take one when I started substitute teaching. So back in Indiana, I had to take one. And again, I wasn't even back then a heavy pot smoker, so it wasn't enough like in my system to even
Are you a
worry
heavy
about
pot
it.
smoker now?
No, I'm
okay.
not.
Well, at least
So-
you were implying that you
Yeah,
weren't, so I didn't know if you were
So
now.
I've never
More of a
had
pot
to
eater.
worry about it. Yeah, it's never been in my system enough to even worry about it.
Gimpy, you said one. How many have you taken total in your whole?
One to get a job at Target.
Huh.
No, excuse me. I just lied to you. Sorry. The other job, two, as a matter of fact. One to get a job at Target, and the other one was to get a job when I was selling parts, the job that I had before I got here. And I had failed that one. I had tried. I was like, all right.
I love that you put some sympathy tone on it. Like,
yeah.
I tried.
I did. I quit for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, all right, that should be good enough, right? THC absorbs in your fat cells. I'm not a heavy guy, so therefore I thought it would flush it out a lot, sooner. It wouldn't stick around in my body as long as it did. So a couple of weeks go by. I'm like, all right, bet I'm good. And I go down there and I take their whiz quiz. And it comes back. You tested positive for the marijuana,
And you hadn't smoked in how long?
It'd been a couple of weeks. I completely stopped.
It can hang. Hold on.
Mhm.
I thought that was like recent. I didn't think whiz was weeks.
No, it's the THC absorbs in your fat cells, so it stays in there for a while. And if you're a bigger, heavier dude and a heavy smoker, and that's another thing you got to think of, heavy smoker I was, but so therefore I thought, okay, a couple of weeks, I'm not a fat guy, I should be good, not taking into account the amount that I put into my body on a daily basis. Okay, so I failed that one, and they're like, all right, we'll give you another shot, but you got to wait for 6 months. You got
to get the job
to take another whiz quiz. So I was like, all right, fine.
6 months hardly makes sense.
That's what they told me. And I was like, bro, I really wanted this job,
So did you start the job and then in 6 months they tested you?
No, I couldn't get the job until they tested me and I tested positive. So for 6 months, I go straight. I quit completely for those 6 months.
Impressive.
And I know.
Very
right?
much so.
And so I took my test. I passed it with flying colors. And then I started back up again. And I tell you what, it has not been the same since. The very first time I got roasted after not doing it for 6 months, I was like, it messed with my mind so much. I was like, this is not what I remember it being. Oh, it's because my tolerance dropped. I was like, well, I guess we're just going to have to build it back up. But you're talking, from 16 to 25. So 9 years of just steady smoking all day, every day. My tolerance was way up there. So I was like, I guess we'll have to start all over again.
Challenge accepted.
Yep.
I worked at The Edge, and the company that owned them in another market, they own a newspaper service, and the newspaper, one of the delivery guys that delivered the paper in the morning to, the stands or whatever, hit a kid and killed a kid, and they tested him, and he was high. So they were like, we're drug testing everyone. And so they instituted a drug policy where you had to do a random drug testing. I go to, London to see Kings of Leon. And then when I come back, they call me into the office like right away.
Right.
And they're like, hey, and I was friends with the business manager. He's like, hey, you have 24 hours after I hand this to you to go take a drug test. Would you like me to hand it to you? And I was like, no. And he's like, all right, tomorrow morning I have to hand it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you need to get taken care of.
Right.
And so I went and bought like pea clean, like, you know,
all the stuff,
broccoli, whatever, all the stupid stuff. And went and did the test. And when I did the test, you know, they give you all these instructions, the thing, put it in there, don't flush, da-da-da. So I obviously have to pee like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've been holding it, and I go to the bathroom just like, oh, thank God, fill the cup and no problem. Done being a good boy, and I flush. And they're like, I go out and she's like, did you just flush the toilet? And I'm like, yeah. Cup's in the thing. We're good. And she's like, no, you can't flush. So 1 hour. See you again. See you in an hour. And you're like, and if you didn't do the test, they fired you.
Oh.
And I was like, So I went and ate and panicked. Went back and did it again and was like, did not flush. Like she even put a note on the thing. Don't flush.
Did she say like it happens?
No.
Or was she mean about it?
No, she wasn't mean about it, but she also wasn't empathetic.
Yeah.
Right.
She's there to do a job.
Right.
She's seen all the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there and you're peeing like you're running out of, like you haven't peed in days.
Yeah.
He is well aware that you're trying to not pass a test. They're not stupid.
They've seen all the tricks.
Yes. Yes.
The question is, how many people lost their job there after that? Did anybody?
Good question.
No. No,
we're all Johnny Fever.
Of the places I've worked that have had drug policies, I've never seen and alcohol.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody get fired.
Wow.
And I know that some people didn't.
Yeah.
So maybe there was an internal like, hey, you get a warning and next time though,
we'll test you.
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. Robber uses sledgehammer at a gas station. So police in Nashville have arrested a man after he heard Peter Gabriel's song. Good old Robbie Kelly heard that song, was like, that's a damn good idea. And he's charged with robbery. He was smashing the window of a gas station, climbed through a window to take cash and ciggies. He's in jail on $15,000 bond. Really just a reason to play Peter Gabriel.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That song right there, when I was DJing at Rumors, the second swingers club that I was at, that was the boss's favorite. And I swear I would hear it at least 4 times a night. And I'm like, can I please stop playing Peter Gabriel?
Did he come over and be like, hey, man,
where's my song?
Play Sledgehammer. I want to hear.
You throw on some Sledgehammer for me? Sure thing, Bobby. Gotcha.
Right. I always love when there's like a DJ who's wiki spinning. That is an art. DJing and picking songs in a selected format to try and get people to dance on the dance floor or to create a certain energy in a room is 100% an art.
Yeah.
And then you got someone coming over going, hey man, will you play the Macarena? And they're like, oh, because you don't want to say no, but you do.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do for you. And then they're like, well, here's a crispy Lincoln for you. And I'm like, ugh, all right, fine. I'll pay your Macarena for $5.
$5?
$5.
That's so, that feels stupid to me.
Well, it's better than what some of the people do. They would pay nothing or $1 to play.
That feels, $1 feels fair.
Maybe, but we live on tips. God damn it.
You made
not necessarily, but
wait, hold on, Sonic employee. What are you talking about?
I got my wages, yes, but the tips were always good and always appreciated.
Of course.
So here's the thing.
You said you made your living off tips, which implied you did not make a salary. You did not make money.
I mean, I did, but it helped add towards the living that I'm making these tips.
Of course. Like we should then get tips.
Shouldn't we though? I love it. We can't leave a jar out front. The hobos will take it.
What was the
Nonetheless.
biggest tip?
His
More
name
than he
was
can handle.
Yeah.
He was about 6'7", 450 pounds.
Biff.
Massive.
Biff, what is his name?
Right.
Tiny.
Ew. I think the biggest tip giggity that I got was, I think it was like a $20 bill. Yeah, it was a $20
For one song?
For one song.
Ugh.
Yeah, those drunk bitches, man. When they want to hear it, they'll pay for it. I'm like,
What's the
"All right."
most you hauled in a night, tip wise?
Tip wise is like $100.
Damn.
That ain't too
It's
awful
not bad.
No.
And it's I don't have to split that with like, you know, the other barbacks, bartenders,
Right.
waitresses, or whatever. That's all me. So that was
Would they split their tips with you?
no, hell no, never. But they had to split it amongst themselves
Sure.
or whatever. So I was total separate entity, got to keep everything.
I've never tipped a DJ ever. Well, I've told him to get out of that career, but I mean,
Yeah.
I've never.
Horrible tip.
That's technically a tip. I've never. No.
Yeah.
Now, if you were did you ever DJ a gentleman's club?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have back then, but no.
It's like having to be an employee at a weed store. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Good point.
Nothing would ever get done. Cinnamon.
to work.
Wait a minute. Who's going to announce Cinnamon? Get off of Cinnamon's lap, Gimpy. Come on.
She likes me, man.
Right.
It told
We're
me.
trying to pay each other's electric bills. Come on.
Predictions that were made in 1923 of what it would be like in 2023, which is,
fun.
That's
for
cool.
those that don't know, you're 4 days into it. One, the workday will be only 4 hours long.
Ha.
Check.
Yeah, right. We got that one, don't we?
It says that because of electricity, work will only be 4 hours long.
Hmm.
That's what they said in 1823. Women will blacken their teeth and shave their heads.
Well, I mean, there's some
wrong.
weirdos out there that would do that.
No,
You don't think?
no, there's no one do. There might be two,
That doesn't matter.
but it's not a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's now predicted that by the year 2023, only a mere little stretch of century ahead, women will probably be shaving their heads and the men will be wearing curls. Those two things are true. Also, the maidens may pronounce it the height of style in personal pimping to blacken their teeth.
That's interesting.
Nope.
They had it wrong. I mean, whiten their teeth, yes.
Whiten,
Yeah, right.
Whiten
yeah.
their teeth,
You're
yeah.
right.
Radio, yes, hi,
Mhm.
will replace gasoline.
What?
Okay.
An expert in airlines and airplanes gives, he predicts that by the year 2023, gasoline as a motive power will have been replaced by radio.
Okay.
And the skies will be filled with a myriad aft going over well-verified routes. So he's not wrong, by the way. This is actually happening and true.
Mhm.
The belief that we just didn't understand then how radio waves would affect airplanes.
Right.
Now we know that not to be a problem unless it's your cell phone.
Turn it off.
All people will be beautiful by 2023. I present at least 2 cases, Your Honor.
Be nice to Lindsay.
Life expectancy will be 100 years.
What? People are dying earlier and earlier, man.
No, they're
No.
not.
Cut that in half.
No. Life expectancy will be 300 years.
Oh,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
People will wear kidney cozies.
A kidney
What
cozy.
the hell?
Yes, kidney cozies will be worn to protect the kidneys on chilly days, just the same as a teapot in the north is kept warm by a tea cozy.
Okay. Do your kidneys get colder than the rest of your body?
No, but again, when they were doing medicine, one, there weren't doctors like what we know doctors be now. People would just be like, I'm a doctor.
Right.
Right? And they used to drill holes in women's heads to
Right.
let out demons. And they thought washing your hands meant you weren't a good doctor.
Right.
The idea was that the bloodstained hands would prove you knew how to do the work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So men will curl their hair. Yeah, that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
The old man perm.
The U.S. will have a population of 300 million.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think we surpassed that one.
Yeah. Now I have 8 billion.
Fornicating is
It's-
fun.
It's in 2021, it was 331 million. So it's not a giant. It's not that far off. Canada will have a population of 100 million.
Okay. I don't know what the population of Canada is, but I'm sure it's more than that. More than
38.2 million.
Yeah.
Utensils will be made of pulp.
Pulp. Okay.
Utensils and dwellings will be manufactured largely of pulp and cements so as to utilize vegetation and stone in every stage of decay, ordinary waste, or unfitness. I mean, it's not wrong, right? Like MDF is a real product.
Uh-huh.
And that's pulp, essentially, right?
Yeah. I just don't know if I want to live in a house that's made of pulp and cements.
Flights from Chicago to Hamburg will only take 18 hours.
I've never flown from Chicago to Hamburg, so I do not know.
I think it's like 8 or 10, maybe.
Okay.
Newspapers will have been out of business for 50 years.
Wow. I mean,
They didn't get
they're half right.
Yeah.
Private kitchens will disappear.
Private kitchens.
Yeah, they're citing articles, by the way. I'm reading from an article.
Okay.
The private kitchen will disappear. Tomorrow's food will be seasoned and prepared by chemical formulas.
Hello, fresh.
Which will preserve the freshness of fruits and meats, rid them of indigestible qualities, and send them to the table ready to use. Instead of sauces that merely cozen the palate, we shall have delectable blends of concentrated vitamins, calories, ferments, and tissue tonics.
Ew.
I mean, we have all that now, right?
Yeah, we do.
Look at like Frank's.
Yeah.
It is a tissue tonic,
Okay.
if you will. The tissue of your tongue.
Got it. Okay.
Cancer will be eradicated.
I wish.
Cancer, tuberculosis, infantile paralysis, locomotor ataxia, and leprosy will be eradicated.
I don't think any of those are eradicated at all whatsoever.
I mean, we pretty much handled tuberculosis pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I'm sure we got a good
And
handle on
leprosy.
leprosy.
I think leprosy's,
Yeah.
You know, but there's still places in the world. When you say eradicated, I'm thinking it's like gone completely from the world, nowhere around it all whatsoever. Now, I'm sure there's third world countries where TB's still a thing, where leprosy's still a thing.
War will be wireless, and we might have telepathy or telepathy.
I like telepathic idea, but I mean, wireless, think about it.
War is
Cyber
wireless.
It is
yeah.
wireless.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People will communicate using watched size radio telephones.
Wow.
Watched size radio
I can answer the phone on my watch.
Yes,
I can
you
answer the phone on mine.
How fun are those, huh?
Yeah.
So they weren't too far off. Now, here's the problem with a thread like this.
Mhm.
Where's the ones that were way off,
Mm-hmm.
Right, of course.
right?
Of course. But they don't want those. Those aren't as interesting.
And they're only showing by 2023. I can't cite what year that came out of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just whatever the thread. Again, anything on the internet, man, you might as well just go with not true.
Right.
You're like, that might be true. Probably not. Might
Mhm.
be. Right? I was in a little Twitter conversation with somebody about the Twitter files.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's definitely some corruption being illustrated in those files. But one, Elon Musk picked which articles to release.
Mhm.
Two, picked the reporters to have go through them and release them. And he's hardly the most honest individual. And corruption, being in corporate America, is hardly a gotcha moment.
Right. Kind of been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Rugby player loses his favorite testicle in freak accident. Jack Johnson is the guy's name.
Making banana pancakes.
Right.
Not to be confused with the singer. He's a rugby star with the Newcastle Thunder.
Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. You might remember a little over a week ago, Lindsay had a story she posted about a woman who was masturbating on a beach. Police showed up. She got a ticket.
Yeah.
Arrested, right? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that story was like 2 years ago, but the video just got released.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently, she's dead. She killed herself.
Damn.
Whoa.
And it's your fault, Lindsay, for exposing her story.
Definitely being a part of it.
again.
Definitely part of the.
No.
I mean, you didn't not post it.
Right.
You can't say you tried to stop posting it. Nonetheless, I find a lot of non-valid places saying she's dead,
Okay.
but I can't find one news source
Mhm.
saying she's dead. I have found a news source citing these social media posts saying she killed herself, but I can't find one that killed herself. One person even went as far as to make a comment that they find it hard to believe that she killed herself because she was on a public beach masturbating. She clearly was okay with being embarrassed,
Right.
Right.
which I don't know if you can connect the two, but I see the point they're trying to make. That if she had no shame in doing that, why would she be ashamed to get caught doing that?
Right.
Which I guess you could counter argument that with if she was battling some sort of alcohol situation or whatever, that, shame is a harsh thing that people deal with.
Absolutely.
So again, apparently she has died, and apparently it was because of suicide. And according to the sleuths, that is because of the shame she endured once the video resurfaced after it being having to have happened over 2 years ago.
Right. Right.
Well, when I read that story, it said that she was going to court. Maybe she was going to jail. Maybe she didn't want to serve any jail time.
She wasn't going for years.
Right.
right.
And she would have went to like a nothing house
Mm-hmm.
where they probably have a pool
Yeah.
and bingo. So I think it's not the right jump to
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to serve time.
Mhm.
And she probably just would have went to county anyway. She would have never got processed to a facility.
Right.
But it feels that I saw this circulating. I was like, wait, hold on. She killed herself.
Mhm.
And started looking, and I can find plenty of things that say she killed herself, but none of them are credible places. And when I found one that was like some website that looked like a news website, and then when you go to it, it locks up and kind of doesn't look like a news website.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Maybe she's just staying out of the public eye and people are assuming she's dead. She's kind of like that lady on the plane, or people didn't hear from her.
No, they assume she wasn't real.
Yeah.
Right.
That's different. And this person, like, imagine dealing with this, right?
Mhm.
The embarrassment, of course, that comes along with it, or maybe not. And then you have to come out and be like, no, I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're trying to just let it fizz out.
Yeah.
And you can't, because you've got to come make an appearance and be like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Why we jump to this automatically? Crazy. Also, the people that are condemning it are also the ones propping it up
Yeah.
Right.
because they're talking about it. And people are like, wait, there's a video of it. And they go research it.
Right. We want to see the video of this woman masturbating.
And there is no video of her masturbating.
No.
Nope. There's video of her getting taken in.
There's, of her interaction with officers,
Mm-hmm.
but not with, her dialing 0 on the pink telephone.
Yeah, the only thing I can really find is an Australian site, but you can't take those Aussies for anything serious,
I'm surprised you could read it. It was upside down.
right?
Christina Revelis Glick.
Yeah,
Revels Glick is her name. She's a hyphenated name. And she was 34 when this happened. So would be, 37, 38 now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Life's hard, man. So you can't go with, she's older, she should understand. Life's hard, man. People take their lives for a number of reasons, and none of them make sense to people that aren't dealing with it. But I thought that was an interesting news update
Yeah.
about Lindsay helping that person want to commit suicide.
Oh.
Right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.
The Big Mad Morning Show returns next. Tulsa's Morning Show, 97.5 KMOD. KMOD Total Traffic Network.
This report is sponsored by the Cowboy Cup.
The Cowboy Cup, Oklahoma's premier cannabis championship and arts festival, December 8th and 9th at the Exchange Center at Tulsa Expo. 18 to enter, no OMMA card required to attend. CowboyCup.com for more. Brought to you in part by Dime Industries of Oklahoma, Herbage Magazine.
badge back.
They don't.
I get that.
They don't. And so those babies tend to have more digestive problems.
Interesting.
Go down the rabbit hole. Nobody does more C-sections on the planet than America.
Mhm.
We're in a hurry. Turn and burn, man. Turn and
Mhm.
burn.
I can't be inconvenienced. I got golf.
Right. Tea
Right.
time at 4 o'clock. Let's get that baby out of here. Co-pilot was visibly upset before leaving plane in midair. So this comes out of North Carolina, where there's these two dudes, a pilot and his co-pilot, a 23-year-old dude by the name of Charles Crooks. So these guys were running a skydiving operation, and they're in the plane, and they'd already dropped off and picked up 2 sets of people, and they're on their way to pick up the third one. Well, the co-pilot is actually the one that's operating the plane he at this point in time. So the co-pilot comes in for a landing, and it was a hard landing. Kaboom. Ended up breaking the landing gear.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Okay, happened in late July. So the pilot takes the controls, tries to get it back up in the air, back up to 400 feet. Meanwhile, while the pilot is trying to get things under control, he tells old Chuck here, hey, why don't you get on the horn with air traffic control? Let them know, hey, we need to divert an emergency landing. Well, instead of doing that, Chuck opens up the window and then barfs out the side. Typical. Okay, the guy's shooken up a little
Adrenaline
bit.
dump. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the pilot's like, hey, bro, get it under control. Get these people, on the horn. We need to make a landing.
It together, man.
Yeah, instead, he decides to go ahead and lower the ramp from the back of the plane. And that's when old Chuck got up and then takes his headset off, starts walking to the back of the plane, apologizes, and jumps the hell out. Now, Chuck, what the pilot did end up landing the plane in a field. Chuck was found in the back of somebody's backyard as a dismembered mess, and the incident is still under investigation.
Yeah. So did he just go crazy in that moment?
I guess they said that he felt really bad for the hard landing, which I understand.
And the guilt just overtook him to just jump out of the plane?
Yeah, overtook him. Said that he was visibly upset and just said, you know what? F this. I'm out of here. And then there he goes. Drugs. Possibly.
Drugs feels like a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better. Falling airplane part barely misses officer at Maine state capitol. So police officer's lucky to be alive after he was standing just a few feet when a 6 to 7 pound steel sleeve smashed into the ground outside the main entrance of the Capitol on Friday. An officer who works as a screener to the building was walking less than 10 feet from where the part fell. The FAA is investigating and says the part is likely from a large airliner on an international route. Or so they'd like you to think.
Is that common for parts of planes to just fall off like that? I've seen other stories where, like, the landing gear fell off and, ended up going through somebody's roof or something. But I feel like that's just every now and again.
This says things fall off aircraft every day. The Navy recorded an average of 460 incidents per year in the 80s. In the commercial world, Boeing received 200 reports of structural parts falling off its planes between 1989 and 1984, so a 5-year period.
Okay, so in the 80s, it seemed different because in the 80s there were a lot of plane crashes. Pan Am being one of the airlines that seemed like they had a bunch of crashes, which I didn't think was right, but I mean, whatever.
I think that the number of plane crashes every year isn't a lot.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but hold on, I'm getting to the 80s. We'll just go 86.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, God. We're at a baker's dozen.
Yeah, but do you know how many flights there are a day?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Thousands.
It's okay. So 13 out of 1,000, but still, man.
In a year.
Okay.
So times that by 365. That's not very many, bro.
I guess. It just seemed like
it's literally the safest way to travel.
Says you, as
Not me.
parts are just
Data.
falling off.
Data. Facts.
How many times you be driving down the road and something just fall off of your car?
Yeah.
It's only happened to me once.
Yeah. And then or it's usually later, like, where's my
Right.
where's
I was driving. It was a 1980 280Z. Okay. And rusted floorboards. It was a turd. I paid $700. We pulled it out of a field. Right. Well, I'm in Owasso at 86th Street, right there by the highway. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was going eastbound towards like the Research or whatever. And I was at the stoplight and I went to take off and the car lifts up, whoop, and then boom, slams on the ground. My entire, the strut tower, the whole shebang just came right off and left me on the ground. I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. And I got it towed out of there and got it fixed. But I'm just saying, it doesn't happen to cars all the time. Seems like it happens to planes a lot. I call this day spa or dispensary. Okay. So basically, I've got some businesses. These are legit businesses in Tulsa.
Oh, fun.
It's either a day spa or a dispensary.
Okay.
Now, based off the name, you're going to chime in with and that's how you're going to buzz in. Corbin or Lindsay.
Okay.
Got
You
it.
get one shot and one shot only because this is a 50-50 chance. There's no point in, hey, would you like to guess, Lindsay? He said it's a dispensary. No, it's a day. So you only get one shot.
Okay.
Whoever wins at the end, I got a big prize for you. Okay.
Like a little nug, maybe? A prize?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Maybe.
God knows you have plenty.
Right. So, day spa or dispensary, are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, we're going to take it up from the top here. Euphoria. Corbin, yes.
That's a spa. Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. Time to find out what everybody learned. We'll start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what'd you learn today?
I learned that Panera's charged lemonade, which is loaded with caffeine, is being blamed for 2 customers' deaths, but it's still not enough to overtake Waffle House as the most dangerous place to eat. And I also learned that Gimpy liked to jam forks into toasters just for a quick jolt of fun. And I feel like someone really should have bought you more toys growing up.
Gimpy, what'd you learn today?
I learned Lindsay likes the tongue. I also learned that I am the sole one keeping Jimmy alive.
I learned there's some squirrel having a Clark Griswold house. And I also learned I didn't need some research study to tell me that a kitty is going to make me understand the abnormalities of society differently. Kitty's been doing that to me for a long time. It's Corbin saying, make sure that dishwasher's loaded right.
It's Lindsay. Stop tracking my cycle.
This is Gimpy, and I'm sorry.
Ready? Can I get an encore?
918 Elevate.
Corbin,
yes.
dispensary.
That is correct. Corbin's in the lead, 3-2. One Love Wellness, day spa.
Corbin.
You got to pick it up, Lindsay. Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, One Love Wellness.